Welcome everybody to today's stream. Welcome. Let's see what we can do today, and we have some nice debates today. Yeah, it will be exciting. Maybe we even get a new teaser. So it's actually insane. So much news about Guild Wars 2 right now. It's crazy. Let's do some Icebrood Saga strike missions first. As always, if you have any questions, any feedback, any comments, let me know. Always happy to debate stuff. And yeah, let's just have some fun together. Filling support roles is always so slow. It's actually crazy. It's so insane. Welcome, Snowdrop. Welcome. What's your prediction regarding the new teaser? I had some interesting comments, to say the least, about it. I'm really I think it's quite clearly hinting towards elite specs, but I think people are really, I don't know, doubtful. That's crazy. I really am so surprised about it, because I feel like it's very clearly hinting at that. But yeah, maybe I'm just too optimistic there. But yeah, I actually think it would be obviously a very obvious confirmation if they would put out another one today. So if today actually we get a new one, a new teaser of a new image, a new hexagon, then it's, I would say, 99% oh my gosh, confirmed that it's guaranteed to be an elite spec. It's pretty much clear then, yeah. The minstrel April Fool's joke from plus 10 years ago comes true? Yeah, actually true. Actually true. I think actually I'm very surprised that we didn't get any kind of minstrel bard elite spec in Guild Wars 2 at all. I think that's something that is I wouldn't say missing, but a lot of people actually enjoy having that. So wait, one second. Oh, so many people join instantly. That's not good. 1 second. Obviously, it's elite specs. The hexagon is a dead giveaway. Exactly. That's my prediction as well, or my analysis of it. But there are people in the comments so steadfast at saying, no, it can't be elite specs. It is impossible. What is going on? Why are people joining as DPS when I write quick DPS? Come on, guys. Please read. It's I write quick DPS only. 5 people join DPS. What? Please. Okay, very good. So finally we have the group structure solved. Very good. Just took a while. Unless ANET has lost all sense of direction, but isn't out of the question. Yeah, that is true. They could make just some bait hexagon in the background, and then it's some kind of new instrument that we get. I mean, we never know with ANET. Could really be the case. I actually highly doubted it, but it could be. It could for sure be. Yeah, they joined quickly as DPS. Yes, I see. Maybe I have to write it differently next time. Good one. I like it. Welcome everybody, welcome. Yeah, I mean, as soon, maybe you have Reddit open or the Blue Sky account of Guild Wars 2, as soon as you have some news and we get a new elite spec teaser, I think as of this moment I didn't see it, but if you have some news, let me know, then I can debate it on stream directly, because of course I can't see it when I'm streaming in the moment. Would be obviously a really good thing to have that nice debate going on as well. There we go. Everyone is here. The reason why I'm playing Heal Scourge now is I'm not joking here. The reason for that is that when I play Chrono, I very often forget to switch Alacrity or Quickness depending on the situation. So now I'm playing Heal Scourge and I'm sure that it's Alacrity. biggest advantage. Biggest advantage of Heal Scourge. Very true. I really enjoy the new staff variant. I don't know. I think for me it's more fun to play than a lot of the others that we had before, like the classical Heal Scourge, also the transfusion one that was really, really nice, I agree. But now it feels like a complex, complete healer at least. So I'm really happy about that. And yeah, I feel like that's something, just having a different color for my crazy healing carries. I think that's good enough for me. So I'm happy to try out new stuff. So you will not always see Chronomancer nowadays on stream anymore. Hopefully that's for the better. Not because it's worse, not at all. Just because I want to see different things. He's trying to break out of Chrono Chair? Yes, exactly. Don't worry. In Fractals I will still play Chrono. But in Strike Missions I try to play something different, just so that people not only see me as the person that only plays Chronomancer and doesn't know anything else. I'm playing like all classes, and that's something that I want also to really do and not only talk and say this is the case. So, and I feel like especially for strike missions and for most raids, it's really like Chronomancer isn't that much better. It is still better, yes, but I wouldn't say it's like that much. Only in Fractals and in some encounters it's like really where you say, why did you not bring a Chronomancer? But in like these strike missions here, I think there is almost no reason to say, okay, I need a Chronomancer here. But in Fractals I will still play it. And it's like, I played some, it is insane. When I'm not playing healer on Bone Skinner, I feel like it's every single time some kind of feed action going on. It's really crazy. So I can't play anything else in pucks nowadays than healer. It's so insane. Welcome, Clickerman, welcome. I really like your tier list videos on YouTube. I'm a new player and find them very helpful. Very good. More to come. And I think it's not only that, you're not the only one that likes them. There are also a lot of other people watching that actually like them a lot. And I have to be honest, I actually really enjoy doing them. So that's why I will keep them updated every single balance patch, every single time when there is something changing in the meta. I will do a tier list about it because I have to be honest, it's very fun to make. The engagement is very high. And what can I say? You know, if people get information out of it that they are looking for, I mean, it's perfect. You know, entertaining and information, that's what we want. So glad you enjoy it. Welcome, David. Welcome. I'm building your Condi Soul Beast build and Trapper is not available for me. What's a good alternative? So you can go for Great Runes, Nightmare. Nightmare is similar, difficult to get. So I would say typically I would recommend something like Undead or something like that. It is not optimal, but it definitely is close to it. So probably Undead Rune is similar. It doesn't have the crazy amount of damage anymore as the Trapper Rune did, but you get defensive, so can still be good. Yeah, but runes, you can actually get the Trapper Rune. A lot of people don't know that, but the Trapper Rune you can't buy from the TP, but you can get the recipe. And as soon as you have the recipe, you can craft it yourself if you just have a crafting profession level that can do that. It's not expensive at all. It just needs a little bit of, so to say, crafting performance. Yeah, it seems like cool energy and really insightful videos. Analytic approach. Yeah, exactly. You know, I'm just, that's my character. I like to be like analytic and giving my arguments. And still, of course, making jokes about something, but I want to always help people as well. You know, my videos should never be something that is only in terms of like trolling or making any fun about anyone. I think it's good to have some fun in there, but I think when a new player checks out my videos, they should also be informative. So that's why I try to be analytic as well, especially when I make some statement like saying this build is trash. Then I don't only tell you that and say that's it, that's a fact. I will try to give you my arguments on that and try to also make clear that this is my opinion And this is not always like the only opinion that is true, because it's after all an opinion. And I think a lot of people are liking that, but some people are always offended for whatever reason. So I guess that's just the internet. I mean, you could play Celestial Heal Scourge and raise Echo Scourge with 15k DPS and Fractals, just try not to overtake him. Yeah, the interesting part is, Nordrop, there is a new Celestial variant, or improved Celestial variant for the Heal Scourge, or yeah, Alacrity Celestial Heal Scourge, that reaches now up to 22k of DPS. It's like, you will out DPS some DPS players in pack runs. It's really like, it's so impressive. So that will be probably my next goal, to showcase that in pack runs and strike missions all the time. But for now I want to showcase this new cool staff variant. But yeah, that will be really nice. Yeah, no problem, David, no problem. Always happy to help. So what do you think about the Bard, or the new teaser of it at least? We don't know if it's a Bard, we don't know what it is, but what do you think about it? Do you think it's very likely? Do you think it's something they just meme us? Really interesting. What do you think about it? The condition damage number really low, 5.8k per second for the Condisol Beast. Just want to know if I'm doing it correctly. Yeah, you have different condis that tick, and if every single one of them ticks for like 5 to 8k, you actually have decent damage in the end. It's like you should reach something like 15 to 20k on this build, if you calculate everything together in a perfect scenario in a solo build. My group is not following my instructions. That's not what we like. Honestly, we should do that on a 5k run, would be content. That would be insane, to be honest. If I would do that in a Fractal, I really feel like people would flame me for being bad as a healer, even though I'm healing them and they are just tanking all the mechanics. I really fear for that, to be honest. I don't want to have any toxicity on stream, but I really think that would be happening if I played some Celestial Healer and Fractals in a very low KP group. Would be content, but I don't want to be the guy that is mean on stream just by telling them they actually died to a mechanic, not because of my supposedly bad healing. But maybe we have to do that just for some content and showcase that it actually is not always about the healer, but we will see. It's a gizmo? Yeah, I mean, that would be, like I said, I think gizmo, musical instrument, something like that. If they would do that and tease it like an elite spec, that would be the absolute meme, that the greatest meme they ever did. Is it likely? No, I don't think so, because ANET wants to really keep the hype going or starting rather, for the next expansion. I really think so, because if they don't, I think the next expansion might be really low in the sales if they don't put out some crazy feature there. Soto was already a little bit like, people didn't really enjoy it that much. But they said, yeah, maybe the next one is good. And then came Chamtia Waltz, which was also not that good. And then they now say, why bother buying a new expansion if it's not that good? And if they put out a crazy good feature like Elite Specs, then people buy it. I'm really thinking so. If we don't get a real tomorrow, it won't be looking good, to be honest, since there was nothing today. I'm not sure. Sometimes they, like I said, maybe there will be coming something today, maybe there will be something tomorrow. But you're right, if there is nothing else coming this week regarding new hexagon images, then it looks, I would say, interesting. Maybe they don't want to give it anything away, but to be honest, I expect something at least later today or maybe tomorrow. I really think so. If they don't, I am actually highly surprised and a little bit sad, to be honest. I have to be honest about that. But we will see, we will see. My main Condi Thief is finally strong again. Yeah, Condi Thief is really, really good right now. I think it was never that bad, but I think it's actually surprisingly good right now, for sure. Yeah, so I think I'm really hyped about it. I think I did not expect getting this early of announcement of Elite Specs. And I'm also, I have to be honest, this will be way more exciting for me as a player to get into the new expansion than any other thing that they could have teased. I have to be honest. I'm pretty sure there's nothing that is actually more exciting to me as a content creator that likes to do build guides than Elite Specs. I'm not joking. It's actually really, I'm really positively surprised about it. Welcome, Gail, welcome. Since the image was released with a 15 days tag, I won't be surprised if the announcement are dribbled out once a week. Yeah, I think it could actually be like very slowly that they give us maybe once a week, maybe 2 a week, something like that. I think the nicest way, of course, would be filling the 15 or left 14 days with elite specs or just some teasers there. That would be the nicest way of doing that. Is it the only way that they can do it? Of course not. And I also think it's possible that they will, let's say, the time span that they put it out could be even larger. If it's, for example, if they want to fill the slots until August or something, until they give us even more information. Could be. I'm not completely sure about that, but it could also be the case. I hope not, but who knows? Who knows? ArenaNet marketing is like even more unpredictable than a lot of other ArenaNet things. Why are people dying left and right? What? I mean, it's time. We got something for our money. Yeah, I personally think it would be elite specs with the next expansion. That is something that I really, really like is worth the money then, I would say. Come on, get the rest here. He will rally at 25%. Nice. I probably stream it. I broke 45k DPS in Convergence CM before the buffs. I never touched 30k. Nice. That's what we like. Very good. Very good job. That means like a really good DPS build now for you. That's what we like. Very good. Very good. So for Celestial, Electricity Scourge and the Quickness Harbor in a group van. Hyper safe Necro combo. The damage wouldn't even be that bad. Yeah, I think that there was like, I don't know if you know Mela. It's a retired Guild Wars 2 PvE streamer, I would say. And he did like the challenge of doing, I think, all raids bosses, I think, back then, at only one elite, one class. So 10 necromancers doing all raid bosses and something. And he succeeded with that challenge, even though back then it was really hard, for example, for Revenant to do some mechanics. But that is like something that we could try as well at some point if we find enough people that would be interested with that. Yeah, you have, this is like, I can upkeep 100% Fury with this skill alone. Desiccate is like absolutely broken. Yes. Yeah, no, I think to the announcement, it's like 14 days. I'm pretty sure that the announcement is 14 days, best girl. It's really like, they said it yesterday that it's in 15 days, so we will get it at 15th of July. That's like, there we will get the announcement. I would say like 99.9%. And yeah, that's my prediction there. And they have to fill all the time until the late date for the release. Exactly. They have to fill the release date, the time until the release date, not only from now to 15th of July, but also from 15th of July to 28th of October. So there is still quite a lot of time to actually fill. We will get probably more information, some streams or something, I expect, something like that. But they will still fill some time. Yeah, I think you also pulse Fury on a Harbinger, but it would be easy enough for just the Heal Scourge to upkeep it. Not counting the weekends. That's true. If you don't count the weekends, then you're right. Then you are obviously right. So I'm dodging here just to upkeep some vigor on my party. Oh my god, the people are still dying. So now we get some nice CC going. And we don't get it, we get it. I will pull so that we get the next special action key. Deluxe, it's the only thing that Chronomancer can't do, getting such a deluxe pull. And we get another one. That's very good. Yeah, so nice. So nice. True, and the 4th of July. I mean, if it's only 10 days left, that's like really close to actually one elite spec per day. I have to be honest. So I actually expect them to give us one more elite spec today, one more elite spec tomorrow. I'm pretty sure this will be the case. I would be quite surprised if they didn't do that, to be honest. But you never know. Maybe it's not even an elite spec and then they obviously can't do that. Virtuoso is actually quite good in PvE and PvP. Yeah, Virtuoso, I have multiple build guides. You can type !build on my Twitch chat and you will get some information about all my builds there. People say Bard new class. I thought I was going to get a new instrument from on the Blackline thing. I have to be honest, I don't see that. I think they wouldn't hype it up that much then. That's such... Why are they dying left and right? I mean, the healer in the second group is like insane how little healing output they have. But they're also standing in the hitbox all the time. Nice, we did it. I mean, dual classing Warhorn? Interesting. I'm not sure. Could be. I mean, I don't see it, to be honest. I don't see any new weapons, but maybe. I think Mesmer could get Warhorn as well. We will see. Either way, I'm excited about it. My biggest prediction would be that it's just one elite spec for each class without a new weapon. Yeah. All Necrofractal is actually good. Yeah, I think Necromancer is in a really good spot right now, so it's not that hard actually to do it. I think going for maybe like... Who did we lose? The quick DPS, okay. Yeah, I think Necromancers are actually quite nice to do as 5-person like carry group in Fractals, but I think there are some classes that might struggle very hard with that. For example, I think a full Thief group might be a little bit struggling because they can't really upkeep stability in... If you're not... The Heal Spectre would be quite good, I would say, but then you would have like very bad cleave for the most part. So I mean, it could be doable. I think every class could be played as 5 of the same in Fractals and you could do the job. I wouldn't say it's like the absolute best. I think there are some classes that would be way better. Mesmer, for example, would be very easy. Necromancer would be somewhat easy. It would be interesting. Yeah, Deadeye is like not perfect for that. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like some classes would struggle way more than others. Including the 15th of July and excluding today, the 4th and the weekends. There's exactly 9 days left. Yeah, I think they could... I mean, exactly 9 days. We already have one, so we get 8, so to say, plus 1, I guess. So I think that makes a lot of sense that we get one more information today, next one tomorrow and stuff. I think that makes sense. But I don't know. Maybe they have some different plans. You never know with them. I need more stability. I don't have more stability on this build. So I guess we take the H's. Yeah, I'm personally not a fan of stacking classes just for fun. I think I like to let everyone play the things that they actually enjoy playing, and typically that's even better than just stacking a specific class. But for some kind of challenge, I mean, why not? Why not, I guess. It's so bad if you don't pre-boon at specific fights. It's really, really bad. I think pre-booning is such a like easy thing to do, and I'm always sad if people don't do it as the supports. Maybe that's another reason why I always like to play supports, just to make sure that I actually have all my boons when I engage the fight. Is Dragon Hunter top tier if I want to try playing tank in PvP? I usually play tanks in their competitive modes. I would actually say Dragon Hunter is one of the best tanks right now. Slight teaser, we will have a ranked tier list on my YouTube channel very soon. I already have it for channel members, and you will see it very soon as well if you're not a channel member there. And their Dragon Hunter is rated quite highly. I'm not joking. It's actually surprisingly high, and you're playing some kind of bunker side noting the H. Yes, you're correct there. I watched the Mirage video today, casually pulling 41k at CO, where the second place DPS was 24k. Yeah, sounds about right. I have to be honest, I don't see that staying. I'm really surprised that they haven't nerfed it yet. I think there will be probably a balance patch next week on Tuesday. Some kind of hotfix patch. I really don't think this will stay around. I can't see that, to be honest. I really can't. Yeah, exactly. Chronomancer can pre-boon stack, even though you can't, so to say, classic, you need a target, but you actually don't in pre-stacking. So it's Chronomancer is just superior. That's just it in Fractals. Chronomancer for the win, I guess. I can't decide between Herald, Reaper, and Virtuoso for PvP. What would be your advice? I think Herald is the best if you want to have a high skill ceiling. Reaper is the ranked carry build if you just want to be really good at team fighting. And Virtuoso is just an all-round pick. I personally would probably go for Herald. Herald is in a really fun spot right now. But Reaper will always be good as a team fighter. So I think if you want to be on the safe side, Reaper is the one that will stay around for the next 2 years, 3 years, whereas Herald could be in a bad spot again in half a year and you don't know. So I think the best option right now is Herald. The overall best option would be Reaper. Yeah. Mirage is so broken. Yeah, it's absolutely insane. It's like, I think it's not 10k above everything else. I think the highest benchmark is 54k for Mirage, and I think then there is a Bladezone build that reaches almost 50k. Something like that. So they are like, I think 48k or something, 49k. So it's actually somewhat broken as well, but if you have something that overshadows it by 5k, yeah, I think there's something wrong with it. I'm pretty sure. Or not wrong, but needs to be addressed. Yeah. I'm a medical researcher. Quick question about the CC window. Is that defiance damage or crowd control count in arc DPS? That's in arc DPS, and you can see the CC window here telling me. I forgot it again. Always forget. So good. Yeah, so I think the arc DPS window here shows that direct the CC window. So how much CC is the output on the current target? This is the window, and it only shows the CC that you put out during a break bar. So even if I'm now fearing, if I now apply some kind of soft CC, it does not matter until there's a break bar. Yes. Honestly, I hope they leave Mirage as it is. I can't wait to see 15k Mirage players everywhere. Yeah, I personally think, to be honest, that might be a hot take, but I think it's okay to have a build that is quite hard to perform on to reach a higher benchmark number than builds that are somewhat easier to perform on. That might be a hot take. I see that. But I think reaching a higher number on a boss that is way more challenging than having a decently high number on a different build that is way easier, I think, to be honest, that's, in my opinion, good balancing. Is ArenaNet agreeing to this? I doubt it a bit, because typically they nerf down really try-hard stuff like crazy high DPS, very niche builds, just because they are in tryhard groups. Yeah, so I don't know. We will see. We will see. Literally every time. Yeah, I mean, that's like my thing here, to always forget when I'm streaming, at least. I mean, people, you know, it's something, I forget something. That's just me. I'm sorry. As long as they buff Scourge to 55k too. I mean, to be honest, it's like Celestial Scourge is actually really good right now. I think 35k is not possible as a Celestial build, but 22k as a Celestial Accuracy Healer, it's possible. It's actually surprisingly good. So maybe that's the new role for you then, Echo Fox. Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. Maybe it's a cold take. I'm just saying this is something that I really think that's how balancing should be. Easy builds should have less DPS than high-level builds, but they should still exist, the high-level builds. Just because they do way more damage than other builds doesn't mean it's like it shouldn't exist. But I think 54k might be a little bit over the top. Maybe. Thanks for the Prime, Bitterford. Really appreciate it, by the way. Sorry that I didn't see it earlier. Thanks a lot. Really appreciate the support. Yeah, the Scourge here carrying with insane no DPS on this Siphon. Very good. If I use 2 different Condi spells and they do different damage but last the same time, does the damage over time add up? Yes, they do. Damage over time in Guild Wars 2 stacks up, so you can't just stack 10 different bleeding effects on top of each other. They will stack and they will add up. Yes, that's how it works. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, the damage number, I made a video about it and I'm really standing by this argument there. I don't see the power creep in Guild Wars 2 really being a good thing. I really don't think so. Having builds that camp 1 attunement on Elementalist should be okay, but it should not reach like a damage number that is like 10k above what we had before EOD released. That's just not good. We don't want that. We want to have a build that is easy to play, but does moderate amount of damage. We don't want to have builds being absolutely insane in terms of damage output and very easy to play. That's just not healthy for the game. You know, they have to balance new encounters around that. That's what people don't get. They have to balance new encounters around that. What does that mean? That means that we have encounters that are like big health bars, like 5 Veil Guardians to actually get through. It's like, that's not good. That's just not fun, in my opinion, you know? You want to have a fast-paced, fun encounter that is dying at some point, but also not like you need to play those builds to actually succeed. I don't know. I don't know, Scorpion. I can't give you the answers to those questions. I mean, it's completely fine if you not reach 100%. I'm just saying, even if you don't reach that, the damage numbers are so skewed, to be honest. I think that should not be the case. Welcome, Sky. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, Engineer and Revenant are probably the least played classes overall game modes. Yes. Let's place a portal. I mean, the Fired Wizard is actually, in my opinion, one of the very few builds that is actually possible to reach 100% of the benchmark for like a lot of people. Because it's like really camp the fire attunement, spam your skills. That's about it. But you need Heal Alacrity Tempest that also does 30k DPS. Don't worry, there is a Celestial build coming up that is surprisingly high in DPS as well for Elementalist. I will get to it when I actually find the time. Don't worry. Yeah. Yeah, I think Engineer is a really underrated class. I'm with you with that, Cam. I really think Engineer is not a lot of people, especially in competitive modes, play it, even though it's really fun. I really think so. I really hope that they give Engineer some love, especially underrated specs in PvE. I think in PvE, actually, it's not that underrated, but people just, for whatever reason, don't play it that much. I don't know why. I really don't. But, you know, you shouldn't care what other people do for the most part. Play the things that you enjoy. So, that should work. Do you agree with a full set, for example, power infusions at approximately 1k DPS with versus no infusions? I mean, it depends a bit on the build, but I would typically say something between 3 to 5% in the infusions. Something like that, yeah. So it could be easily 1k, yeah. Absolutely. Don't worry, Callis, don't worry. I'm always happy to help. Yeah, 1k makes sense. Yeah, Holosmith is really good in some situations, but it's also not that easy in my opinion. I think Holosmith deserves the same treatment as Mirage in my opinion, that it should get a little bit higher DPS because it's harder to perform on. I think, for example, Mechanist, Condi Mech is way easier to play than Condi Holo or Holo in general. And therefore, I think making builds that are a little bit harder and more challenging, more DPS, I think that's healthy. But yeah, maybe, I don't know, not everyone watches. Yeah, I would say 1 to 3% depending on the build that infusions add up. For example, if you don't have full precision so that you don't get to 100% crit rate, that can hurt quite a bit. Some builds actually use precise infusions, that hurts quite hard if you don't have those. But then you just swap your gear a bit and get 100 precision or 100% crit rate and you will be fine as well. But stuff like that, yeah, you will actually, in my opinion, notice it somewhat, but it's not like absolutely the only thing that matters for gearing, yeah. Yeah, Dami, I know there are a lot of engineers main out there, but I think if you compared Revenant and Engineer, feel like a lot of players don't play those classes, or if they play it, not mainly. That's sad, because those, especially Revenant, I would say, is actually really interesting design. But, I mean, what can you get, you know? I was looking for a Boon DPS build for raids or open world PvE. Oh, there are so many. You can check out my tier list on YouTube, and there are so many answers that you can actually fit in there. Really, really good. There are so many versions. Don't worry. Every class has one. Yeah. It's kind of funny. New Quickness Cutter reaches 42k DPS as existing 5 months power quickness DPS. X Pistol Deadeye, but you don't see any Quickness Deadeye X while you see a lot of Quickness Cutter. Yeah, because the Cutter list is easier to play, in my opinion, or less niche. And the thing is also, I think a lot of players like to play Cutter list. Not a lot of players like to play Deadeye for whatever reason. I think I really rarely see Deadeyes in any instance PvE. I really rarely see that. I don't know why that is. Any tips on Sanqua Peak CM as a healer? I tried to follow your video as a heal chrono, but kept dying at the 33 water phase with the water bursts. So my tip there is to understand that you have to give barrier, have to get healing, of course, have the perfect gear and stuff. Then I think it should be not a problem. I will do fractals later, and then I can remind you how to do it and give you some more insight there, because this is like really the thing where I say a lot of healers struggle with the water phase in CM. I really think that is the breakpoint where a lot of people struggle. And of course, your party also have to stack, and they have to take the tether from each other. That's like really important. You can't actually influence that too much, but that's really important. I'm full legendary in all classes. I have to try others. Yes, that's very good. I think playing all classes is something that is in Guild Wars 2 one of the biggest things that keeps me playing. So highly recommended to you. Try out different classes, enjoy the game with different builds, and you will see it's actually way more fun that way. It's not that hard. Yeah, I mean, I have to be honest, I don't play Deadeye. You know, I'm the same as a lot of other players. I'm just not playing enough Deadeye to actually make any real arguments about it. I don't feel it. I really don't. So maybe in the future. Maybe in the future. I think that people fear Engie and Rev because of energy management on Rev and heat management on Holo. That could be true, but the same argument could be said, for example, for Initiative, or for example, for even on Firebrand, how is it called? The tome pages, stuff like that, and the people still play it. But I guess you are right. I think a lot of people just don't vibe with the class, and then there is this management of energy, of some resource. I think that could be true. Yeah, maybe that's why people don't play it, because it's just disgusting. Yeah, could be. Yeah, maybe it's fun. Maybe I have to try it. Maybe I just have to try it and stick to it, and then I will see why it's fun to some people that actually play it. Yeah, maybe you're right there. When you say water phase, you don't skip the mechanic, or does it mean the middle attack? That's the middle attack. Typically, if you don't skip the attack, then you are in trouble anyway. So if you don't skip to like the boss instantly, then you're already in trouble. So that means that your DPS is low, or that someone died or something like that. So I would say never reach the second water phase. That's like, you should not be there. Rev is also the only class behind the DLC. That is absolutely true. That is, of course, that's a very big point there, that you have to have one DLC that gives Elite Spec that to unlock Revenant. That much is for sure. That's definitely a big point here. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, exactly. Holosmith is like the only Elite Spec on Engineer where you really like, you get punished if you do a mistake. Not only do less DPS, but you also get like directly punished. You will lose DPS in the future. You will lose DPS now. You will also lose health for it. So it's like, Holosmith is really punishing, and that's like a downturner for a lot of players, especially in PvE, where you are like just, you know, typically not really aware of classes that if you do not do the correct rotation, then typically, yeah, I mean, you lose a little bit of DPS, but on Holo you lose way more. So definitely good point there, yeah. Yeah, the tether thing is really important. That's true. Yeah, I mean, Trevor, I can see that. I definitely can see that why you would only play for 1 hour Deadeye. Yeah, I personally think it's probably the tether thing. I can't see any other way why the healing output that is not enough on a heal chronomancer. I really don't see that happening anytime. That's probably because of the tethers being done wrong. Yeah. Welcome, Chandrix. Welcome. Yeah, Harbinger hurts you as well. But the thing is, Harbinger is on Necromancer, and I think Necromancer is one of the most popular classes. So I think that's why Harbinger is actually something that a lot of people try out and actually like the fast-paced playstyle that typically Necromancers are not really known for, you know, this fast mobile class. So I think it's like some help that it's very popular. Yeah, and even though it's punishing, not as much anymore because you have like 0.5% buff to the Blight, but it's still definitely not as tanky as, for example, a Reaper, for sure. Yeah, good point, yeah. I'm a PvP noob, like to play Guardian support. Would be Mesmer Spec good for noobs too? Yeah, I think Mesmer support Chronomancer is actually also decent in PvP to learn as a new build. But I think support in general is one of the hardest things to play in PvP. It's you have to position correctly, you have to carry your group. Other than that, you will not have any impact. So it's really like, it's the hardest thing to play, for sure. Welcome, Chandrix, welcome. Don't worry. It's always better for you to go to the platform that you enjoy the more. I don't care if you're on YouTube or Twitch. Yeah, exactly. The rewards justify the risks, but some classes don't have that. For example, Holosmith. That's why people don't really like to play it. If the laser thing stacks 10x the group vibe, so people must know this info on 98 exactly. And it's also like, if people are just sleeping, sometimes people know this and just sleep because they think, yeah, the others will take care of it. That's also not good. You have to have people that actually are aware of the situation and take responsibility. Yeah, for sure. Welcome, Arthur. Welcome. Yeah, what do you think all about the new Elite Specs or possible, Elite Specs announcement that we got? Are you hyped for it? Are you a little bit like still doubtful? What is the situation here? What do you think? And hopefully we get some new ones very soon as well. You know, I'm very excited for those. By the way, you showed us on YouTube a version of Condi Soul Beast with Ritualist gear. I tweaked it a little bit, and now we have toughness and 500 HP. Yeah, I mean that sounds like really good. Sounds really good. I think you can make some tweaks to all my builds and maybe adjust them to your playstyle, and that's always good. If you think about my builds and understand what my goal is, and then adjust it to a little bit of a different playstyle, that's perfect. I think that's how you should play Guild Wars 2. Of course, especially if you're going for a DPS build in PvE, typically you want to stick to the build guide that I show you because that's already min-maxed in terms of DPS. But in most other cases, like roaming, like solo content, there you should adjust it to this situation and to your own build for sure, to your own playstyle. Elite Specs is the best thing about new expansions. Yeah, I personally agree, and I really hope that the new expansion will really bring new Elite Specs. I really think that would be like insane in terms of replayability and just selling for the expansion, for sure. I'm a new player. I play Condi Viper Mirage. I'm looking for other builds to Mirage that are a bit tankier. I don't know. Mirage is like getting its tankiness by dodging. So is it tanky on any build? Not really. It's really like the tankiness comes from the dodging. So if you can dodge your attacks consistently, if you know the encounters and just don't get hit by the attacks because you dodge them, you're actually really tanky. But as soon as you don't do that anymore, you lack a little bit of just general stats to help you there. You could of course go for Trailblazer and you would be tanky, but then you lose quite a bit of damage. So I don't have any good recommendation here. Did they really just post a Dragon Bash reminder? That's good. That's a good meme. I like that one. Yeah, Staff is really good. Good point by Kyla. I think Staff is really like you can do DPS while also being somewhat defensive because you have actually you don't have to like look at your attacks that much. You just spam your ambush and you will be fine for the most part. Good point. The reason was that you were saying in the video toughness from nowhere, and finally I thought, what did he mean? Ah, okay, that's it. Yeah. Yeah, glad that you like the cheat sheet. There will be more builds coming, so I will always update this builds spreadsheet. I will not only update it with new builds that I release, but I will also update it with like balance changes and stuff like that. So yeah, it's always a good resource, and I will also probably do at some point one from all my guides. So if I have a new player guide regarding ascended gear, regarding salvaging and stuff, I will put all of those in another spreadsheet, and then you can easily see those as well. Do you think the new Tempest build will get nerfed? I think it will get tuned down a bit. I don't think they want to completely hammer it down to being completely impossible to be played anymore. I think the Inferno variant is really fun, and I think they want it to exist, otherwise they wouldn't have put that trait in there. I think the damage number is too high. I personally think if they tune it down to like 42k, 41k, then I think then they are happy. That's my prediction. Which class would you recommend for new player for PvP? I like Mesmer. Then I would probably go... I mean, Virtuoso is a good pick. I think Virtuoso is very generally good in PvP. It's not the best class, but it's also not the hardest class. You can play a lot of roles. I think Virtuoso is a good role. Yeah. Nice. I forgot that I can't glide here. Why didn't open my glider? So sad. It's fine. Mirage is really fun. I think Mirage is one of my favorite elite specs by design, and I think the new healing one, or whatever you play on the new version with the Dune Cloak, it's like insane. I think they have to nerf Dune Cloak. I think that's too broken, so we will see. But I think it's really fun. Yeah, the dodging is obviously not for everyone, but I personally like it a lot. So hopefully we can at least get the Dune Cloak to some extent in a fair balance state, but right now I feel like it's absolutely broken. What is the best way to farm spirit shards? Just doing meta events that have a lot of mobs and you have to have all the boosters on. So you use your Candy Corn Gobbler and your Snowflake Gobbler, the experience booster, you know, the... where is it? You use your birthday booster, all experience boosters, you use full food, and you just kill and tag all the mobs. That's the important part. So doing meta events like Domain of Istan, doing some kind of temple events in Core Theoria, stuff like that, where a lot of mobs spawn and you just tag all of them. Dragonfall is really good for that. And of course, best one is Mad King's Labyrinth in October, stuff like that. So a lot of meta events where you tag a lot of mobs. That's the best thing. Why does Power Scrapper use the grenade kit? You just want to spam your second skill in the grenade kit typically, and you can also, not all, but a lot of the grenades actually decently scale with power damage as well. So it's actually surprising amount of damage on the grenade kit. 2, 4, and 5 are actually surprisingly high in damage on power builds as well. I hear a lot of people say you can get 45k DPS stamping one element. This is untrue. Can someone show me a video? I mean, I have it on my channel, actually. And you can actually reach that, but for example, Lemon Dealer has a video about the rotation where you can clearly see the damage number. I think Snowcross actually has a build for 47k with a slightly different alteration, a little bit harder build to play. It's crazy how good Tempest is right now. Yeah. But I highly expect some kind of damage nerf. I really think so. Yeah, of course, the X on Mirage is not something that I would recommend to people that get Vertigo quite easily. I agree with that one, but I think in Mirage you don't have to play X, you can play Staff, and I think personally Staff is actually surprisingly good as well. And exactly, you have a lot of AoE from the grenades, which you otherwise is a little bit annoying to get, or at least not at range with you if you play Hammer Power Scrapper. Yes, very good point. Yeah, I would also not use X on Mirage in a lot of situations. I think it's only used on a condition Mirage in PvE. I think in a lot of other builds, you have better weapons suited for that. Especially, I wouldn't use it on a healer. I think on a healer, there is no reason to play X. I think it's not that good that you can run that easily there. So I have, like I said, you can check out Lemon Dealer. That's a Guild Wars 2 content creator that has a video about exactly reaching 45k just camping fire attunement. That's very easy. I just can't link it right now. I will link it later if no one else did it before. It's very easy, yeah. And you will in my opinion, everyone can reach that number if you have full infusion set up. It's really just camping fire, spamming the skills, and you will get there. Yeah, I mean, that's the cool part about Guild Wars 2, which a lot of people don't get when they start the game, is that there might be some players that don't like a specific build, a specific playstyle, and they say it's hard or it's annoying, and you try it out and it's not at all for you. That's because the game has various niches that you can fill, and some builds, some playstyles are way more suited to your playstyle than others. So that means that you just try it out. You have to see for yourself if you like it. You know, someone here in chat says, Mirage, I don't like the playstyle. That doesn't mean as a new player you shouldn't try it out, because maybe you actually enjoy it very much. So it's always very important to try out all the classes if you have the time for that. Welcome, welcome, King. Welcome, welcome. Welcome, Serga. Welcome, Serga. I've been away for a bit. Nice catching you on stream. Very good. Very good. Welcome back then. Yeah, there is actually quite a lot of stuff happening nowadays. We get some announcements with the expansion. We got a slight teaser with the icon of the Minstrel or Bard. So we will be really excited in 14 days. So exactly in 2 weeks, we will get probably the expansion announcement. So we will be quite happy when this will happen. I have to be honest, I'm quite hyped up already. So yeah, very good, very good. A lot of people try to turn me problems into Guild Wars 2 problems. Yeah, I think that's what a lot of people like to do in general. That if they have a specific problem with a build they don't like, they think it's just bad. I think it's really important that you always try to be objective also about statements that you make. I make that mistake as well in my tier list, for example. I always say, for example, that, Deadeye is not that good in Fractals because it doesn't have any cleave. This is an objectively true statement, but on the other hand, I think I also don't play it at all in Fractals, so maybe I'm a little bit biased against it. So I really hope that I try to bring my objectiveness in the tiers as well and not always put it in some places where someone would say, this is not true. So I can definitely see that happening to me as well, but I really try to not have that. And I think it's really important that you stand above yourself and make decisions and regarding your playstyle and stuff, and don't always project it on others or in general on Guild Wars 2. Definitely. Sure, Chantrix, don't worry. Don't worry. Let me know. You can either write me in Discord or just in-game. My god, I hate it. If you don't have that higher, you know, the setting here, you actually don't see the attack. It's so bad. So you can't, I was seeing the targeting, but I was not sure if it was me. It's so bad. It's really annoying. New to Guild Wars 2, but worked. Yeah, I mean, Guild Wars 2 is a really interesting thing. If you have any questions regarding the game, let me know. I have a lot of guides on my YouTube channel, a lot of builds. Really, really, just ask. I want to swap my main. I play in PvE. I have done most of the story on my Revenant main. I want to switch to Ellie. How can I unlock all the maps? Fast travel points on my Elementalist? Yes, I would go for getting those portal tomes. So you would just get the portal tomes from specific vendors on the map. So for example, in Aberstorn, from the Iceblood Saga Tome, Wizard's Tower, and then you can fast travel to those, and then you can either go for another map completion if you wanted to without doing the story, or you can just leave that, and that's what I do. I don't actually do map exploration on those maps anymore because I don't need to. You know, I can just teleport to the maps if I wanted to and get that. That's really nice. On my 70 characters, everything works. It's really nice. Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what I'm meaning. I think nerfing a build that is only camping one rotation to a little bit less DPS is completely fine if the 3 different elements is 2k more. That's not how it should be, for sure. Welcome, Skywolf. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, the gap closer could be interesting on the X. I'm with you there, but I'm saying that the X doesn't need to be brought in a lot of situations. Only on Condi builds it's really worth it because it provides a lot of Condi application and clone generation, but I think on a healer or something like that or power build, I typically wouldn't run X. Yeah, I have a lot of characters, that's true. I mean, it doesn't mean that you need to have that, but I'm just saying, for me, something like those portal tomes is like gold. I need to use those. That's really I use them every single day. It's really, really good. Don't delete Reref. Please don't do that. You don't delete characters ever. You would just keep them and create a new one. Especially now with character slots being quite cheap, you should get those. Yeah. Yeah. We have just the information about the Bard loot minstrel that we got posted yesterday, which is hinting towards the new elite specs, but we will see. We will see if we get some new information today, maybe tomorrow. Hopefully this week at least. Yeah. Cool thing is that X3 breaks targeting. Yeah, that's amazing in competitive modes. That's really cool. And you also can use that to retarget your clones. That's really, really good. I mean, there are no real leaks. It's just more like we get new elite specs. That's like the teaser that we got. It's not a real leak if it's like teased by the company, I would say. And the leak, I think, was just like we get elite specs, and now it's like confirmed somewhat with the teaser. We will get the real confirmation in 2 weeks. Yeah. Yeah, that could be interesting with the buff, but then it's like another complete trait rework. I think it's a very interesting design with the Inferno trait. I think they just have to tune the numbers, maybe make it really, like you say, some kind of permanent buff, or some kind of not permanent buff, rather, some temporary buff. That could be a very interesting thing. Will they do it? I don't know. Maybe you call it here and they will exactly do that, but you never know. ANET does come up with solutions on their own. Sometimes they are bad, sometimes they're good. We will see. We will see. No, I think we will get the elite specs. We will get probably 1 for each class. That's the most likely scenario, I have to be honest. Yeah, I would say the teaser is like the thing that is there, not some kind of leak or something. It's the teaser. That's why I'm excited. Leaks I don't trust typically. Teasers is like guaranteed to be true because it's like from ANET, from the source directly. Yeah, for sure. So I think the leak is really good, and I hope we get some more cool information about the other elite specs as well. That would be really nice. And I hope that the expansion reveal is not just, oh, expansion will drop with this name in October 28. You know, that will be like, I will be a little bit sad about that. I really hope it will be a little bit more information. But I don't know. We will see. We will see. What warrior elite spec would you recommend for PvP? I think Spellbreaker. I think Spellbreaker is the best one right now for PvP. It is not absolute crazy in terms of meta. It's not like the absolute god tier build, but I think it's a solid A tier build. Welcome, Camille. Welcome, welcome. Hope you had a nice day so far. Yeah, I think, to be honest, Sky, I'm with you there. I think they have a lot of balancing problems already. I'm not sure if it's like good to add new elite specs, but I think it would be a good selling point. So I personally don't care about balance. I hope they just are fun. Yeah. Yeah, I know you're not really the big elite spec fan, but I think a lot of other people are, and I think they should listen to the majority, or if they want to make a lot of money, they in the end have to do that. Even if there is a valid concern with elite specs and balancing, I think if they want to make money, that's one of the best, if not the best option for them to make money, for sure, with the next expansion. I wonder if they will give us 1 elite spec for each armor weight. I have to be honest, that could be, but I feel like it's at this point, I think they delayed the expansion. They have not really released a lot of content in Guild Wars 2. I think they actually were working on the elite spec for quite a while already. So I think actually it's more likely that we get 1 for each class. It could be for each armor weight, but I don't really see how that fits Guild Wars 2's class design. I think that would just be like some kind of like weird middle ground that is not really like really class fantasy like, but maybe I'm just a little bit doubtful there. Do you think there will be a beta event? Maybe. I would actually hope so, but I think now that they released the announcement of the expansion in July and we have only 3 months, so to say, left, I'm not sure if they want actually to get some feedback there. It would be really cool if they would do some kind of beta event, but typically they announced it a little bit earlier, but maybe they announce it next in 2 weeks and then we will see some beta event action. I would love that. I really like to have some action there and test some builds, for sure. What build for Soul Beast, or do you mean short bow? Because that's both SB, so let me know. Adding a new race would be much better. I think you're there again in the minority. I think a lot of people would rather have elite specs than a new class. A class is something, a new race rather. I think a lot of people would play the new race once and that would be good, but the elite specs are something for like years to come. So I personally think it's way more likely that they will invest time into going for elite specs than a new race. I really think so. No new elite specs or weapons, but they should add a couple of new elite skills per class that we can unlock. Some classes feel pretty limited. Yeah, I totally agree. Expanding the core utility skills and elite skills, that is really good. But I have to be honest there. I think this icon that they teased, that we got yesterday from the Bard and the Minstrel or what, I don't see that this is something skill related. I really think this is, in my opinion, very likely to be an elite spec, maybe a weapon, but I think elite spec is the most likely one. Maybe a trade line, but not a new utility skill. I don't see that, to be honest. I really don't. Yeah, that's always the case. Ranger elite specs are broken, yeah, at some point when they come out. It's really true. And maybe a beta is necessary. I think that would be really cool if they would bring that and put that in. But I don't know. I really don't know. They didn't do a beta, at least as I know, for every single release. But maybe I'm wrong there. Maybe I don't know actually if every time they did a beta. But I would be like really up for it. I'm just saying I'm not sure how much development effort they want to put into some kind of beta event. So we will see. That's the only thing that we can get to at some point. Yeah. Adding new elite specs creates so many problems for the future and so much work due to elite specs interaction with so many other existing weapons. Again, how many new playstyles could you add? I agree, I totally agree, but I feel like they just don't care at this point anymore. You know, what else could you interpret in this picture? I'm really like, that's my thing here. I really think so. Trevor, thanks a lot, by the way, for the Prime. Really appreciate it. And thanks for all the follows. Also appreciate it. I'm excited for anything new. I'm totally with you. I'm also excited for anything new. Anything that is something interesting, new, exciting, combat-wise, I'm up for it. You know, that's I like that, and that's the important part for sure. Got a question for your last PvP tier list. What build for Scrapper? Put it in S tier. This is the build. I'm showcasing it right now. This is the build. It's like a really tanky, bruisery, DPS side-noting Scrapper. I will try to showcase this in this match. Yeah, I think the power creep and the balancing with the new elite specs is insane, and it's quite hard to handle already, and I think it will be way harder to do so in the next expansion when there will be elite specs as well. Does that matter? They will do it anyway? Probably, because they don't care at this point. They just want to make money, I guess, and make, if they are fun, and then I'm actually with them. You know, if it's fun for me as a player, I don't care about unbalanced interactions or just not balanced PvP and world versus world. I don't care. If it's fun to play, I will play it anyway, you know, but that might be a hot take. So we will see. I do believe you're right, and I would love new elite specs, but I'm scared of how much it would shake up existing balance. Exactly. I think the balance of existing elite specs and existing just general interactions is horrible already, because we have 3 elite specs for each class. Getting one on top that will probably be better than the others before to make a good point of selling the expansion is never working out in terms of better balance. I don't see that it will improve the balance. But I think the expansion should provide more fun than before. So if the balance is scuffed and not good at the beginning of an expansion, I don't care, at least if it's fun. So that's just my take. Maybe I'm completely wrong there, but I really think this is like, yeah, that's a healthy way of introducing us to new elite specs. Yeah. The only problem is that there are other fun games to play. I agree with you, Skywolf. I really agree that if you make the game in a direction that a player will not like it anymore, that's sad. But I would say if a lot of players that play the game still like the direction that they are developing it, I think at some point you have to say, maybe it's not for me anymore, the game, you know? That's like a lot of hardcore players in Guild Wars 2 made this decision like over the last of 5 years or something to say, yes, the game is great, the combat is great, but they don't put out enough content for us. we will go to World of Warcraft, Final Fantasy. Yeah, that's why a lot of hardcore PvE players, for example, left. That's just the truth. You know, if the game is not for you anymore, then maybe accept it and come back maybe later. But right now, maybe it's not for you. That's okay. I don't want to say that is the case for me or anyone that is listening here in stream. I'm just saying if that's the case for you, just accept it. Welcome, Anger. Welcome. I can't talk that much anymore because I'm like a little bit like focused on the game right now. What? How did that? I reflected. Did you see that? It's fine. You can see the strength of this build. I think I can win against this Power Harbinger. Is it even power? Insta-corrupt. Yes. So typically you wouldn't like to do that. Oh my god, this is seed chaining. So you typically don't want to do that and want to play on a capped point. But I think here I'm in a really good spot. So, I mean, this is a little bit annoying, this 1-on-1. It's like, what is this, Tank Harbinger or something? Guild Wars 2 for casual fun? Yeah, Guild Wars 2 is made for casual fun. It's just, that is the game for you if you want to have that. If you don't like that, then maybe it's not for you. Yeah, for sure. I wonder if the elite specs, if they also add new utility skills. I personally think an elite spec with just no utility skills is a little bit boring because then you play the core class with some additions. I think that's not good enough. But maybe they... I think it's quite likely that we get those. I really don't see it happening without those. But maybe I'm just expecting too much. Yeah. Getting into Guild Wars 2 also is really hard already due to the elite specs. There's an insane amount of things to learn, so many abilities, so many things to earn. That is true, but I would also say this is like a good thing because if you learn the game like in 1 hour, then in my opinion, that's not something really good in that statement. Oh my god, how did that kill? What? I think I have some kind of lags because I was like dodging and it didn't realize on my screen. Weird. I mean, this is a matchup I take every day. That was a good dodge, my friend. Yeah. Good build, by the way. Good build. That's why it's an S tier. Holy shit. That's so much damage. How did it... What? What? He one-shot 2 people. The great scope of the game is also an advantage. Scope creates long-term interest for game longevity. For sure. I'm with you there, Gale. 100%. Yeah, you can only play 1 elite spec. That's true. You don't need to play all the elite specs, for sure. Yeah, it's really fun. It's really good. So I can showcase it shortly on stream. This is the equipment. 1 second. This is the build. You can see it right now. I might do a build guide about it in the future. Really good build. Really fun to play. Nice bruisery scrapper playstyle. Okay, now I have to go into the 101 here. What is this? What are those people playing? This is a power flamethrower. What? What is going on? I really don't know what people are doing. What's going on? Yeah, there are so many. I think you are completely right. There are so many abilities to learn in Guild Wars 2 and just stuff to understand. I completely get that, but that's the important part. if you would learn the game in one day, I think it would be a boring game. You want to have something to strive towards too. So I personally think that's a good thing. Oh, now we get the revenge against this guy. Oh my god. I can't win. It's unblockable. What the fuck? I hate that shit. Unblockable Signet. That's so annoying. Who plays that? It depends on the person. Personally, the elite spec is something I like about the game. Yeah, I think a lot of people would agree, and you will get to it to like it at some point as well. You just have to slowly learn the build and the classes, and you will get there and like it. This is surprisingly close, this match, I have to be honest. Welcome, Igor. Welcome, welcome. Oh my god, the Power Berserker is back. Oh my god, he has it again. That's disgusting how much damage they put out. That's that much is for sure. Okay, now he doesn't have it, so I can get an easy kill here, I guess. There we go. Holy shit, that's so much damage. I have to be so careful. I mean, I can get interrupted, you know. There we go. Nice, we got it. Go for the decap. Thanks for all the follows, really appreciate it. There's the harp again. Do we like that matchup now that we know it? Not really. Oh, come on. Is he seed chaining the harp? Nice, we get the decap. Very good. Yeah, it was like, that was like a really annoying full offensive warrior build. Yeah, I agree. Welcome, Mr. Broken One. Welcome, welcome. I was wondering if you're also playing other MMOs like World of Warcraft or Final Fantasy. I tried them, but not at a very high level. And maybe I will do some kind of series or some kind of streams where I also play other builds. But right now, I have to be honest, other games. But right now, I'm a little bit like very attuned to Guild Wars 2 in that sense. So we will see, we will see. This is a power harbinger, but very, very tanky. Not a lot of damage. Now this guy comes there as well. Okay, why are we losing the whole map? Get the interrupt, get the kill, get stability. Careful with the interrupt. And we should win the 1-on-1 here. 1v2, 2v2 I guess. Come on, die. Just die. There we go. And we can get some action on the other side of the map. We are 100 points behind. I actually don't know. I died 2 times. That's 2 times too many, I would say. Thanks for the Prime, really appreciate it. Thanks a lot. Yeah, I mean, you can watch on YouTube, Twitch. I don't actually care. Just if you watch me, I'm happy. Oh my god, they got farmed by the full Berserker warrior, I guess. Oh, they are all. Oh, this is a full Berserker. Greatsword Willbender. That's also not something that you want to fight against. There we go, we get another kill. Now I go for the... Oh my gosh. Get the... Oh my gosh. I thought he doesn't have an unblockable signet, so I can go in, but no, I did get one shot by the attack anyway. Come on. Yeah. Go on this guy. Nice. I think it's winnable. It was a really good rest. If we didn't get the rest, this would be over this game. Nice, we got the kill. Sorry, I have to concentrate a bit here before I can go and read the chat again. Nice, we got the kills, we got the kills. There is the warrior again. Let's poke him down a bit. Yeah, that's good. We won the match. Very nice. It was a very long match. And could have been in either direction, to be honest. Can't get the rest there, but we are fine anyway. That was good. I like that one. Good showcase for the S-tier scrapper build. Also, I think the whole power creep bad argument is played out anyway. You can buy literally everything in PvE with enough gold. There is no prestige to anything. Exactly. I think prestige in Guild Wars 2 in general, not even only in PvE, even in PvP. There are some people that didn't deserve, for example, the PvP gizmo. Yeah. The PvP gizmo is, yes, it has some kind of, how can I say, some kind of prestige attached to it. But even then, I would say it's not something that all people deserve equally. You know, there are some people that are way better in PvP than others, and they still got the gizmo, the bad person. So, yeah, I think it's prestige in Guild Wars 2 is overrated. Hot take, but I think it's overrated. I really think so. As a game ages, the skill floor rises constantly. For me to go do a raid, I'm expected to catch up on so many discoveries over years. But I also think there are way more ways to access, for example, Veil Guardian, because so many people can help you out there. The power creep actually helps in that regard. So I think there are many ways in that sense to actually get into raids. So I personally think the game is not harder to get into right now than it was. I personally don't see it. I'm a returning player. I haven't played for 10 years. Since I'm kind of lore nerdy, I'm thinking of playing Revenant. They have a new armor class as a main character. I would like to ask about skill floor and ceiling for that class, since I presume a streamer as you played Guild Wars 2 for a long time, so many tips will be welcome. So I think Revenant has a higher skill floor than some other classes, but it's not the hardest class to get into. That much is for sure. The skill ceiling on Revenant, I would say, is one of the higher ones as well, because you have a lot of min-maxing, a lot of cool tricks that you can do, but most of them are typically in competitive modes. So if you're playing only PvE, I would say getting into Revenant is not too hard, and the output that you can reach there, if you play it decently well, if you master it, is really high. Revenant has very good builds. You can't play all elite specs in every single encounter. You can, but some of them are way better than others. But all of them can fill in the end all roles. So I think Revenant is a really good class to start with. In my opinion, it has a very nice flavor as well. So I personally would highly recommend you to try it out and play for a while, because then you will get to the, let's say, minimum that you need to understand the class, and then you make the decision if you want to continue there. I personally think Revenant is really fun. I really like that class. Learning Fractal Spot, boss mechanics and class matchups in PvP took me a while, again due to catching up on so and so. many discoveries. I mean, I think that's also a good thing. I think as soon as you stop learning a game at all, it will get boring. That might be a hot take, but I'm not stopping learning Guild Wars 2. I'm still watching other people stream that are really good at the game. I just try out stuff for myself, try to improve at the game. There's always something new to discover and learn. So as soon as I stop that, I will probably switch and play another game. That might be a hot take, but I think that's how I do it. Yeah, I'm with you, Cam. I'm with you, for sure. Yeah, exactly. If you make the old content easier because of the power creep, then you don't have a gear treadmill, but you still have the same effect that the old content becomes somewhat easy and neglectable, while the new content is the more up-to-date and, so to say, power-crept content. So I feel like it's not the right way to power creep the game. But maybe that's just, you know, from someone that actually enjoys having some kind of progression in terms of improvement of skill level. But yeah, that's just my idea. Yeah, I mean, you don't have to raid in Guild Wars 2. I think that's one of the biggest things a lot of people don't understand. Guild Wars 2 is a sandbox game. If you don't like raiding, if you don't like PvP, just don't do them. You will get everything else on different game modes and different playstyles. So just play the part that you enjoy. You don't have to be toxic because you can't engage with raids because you don't like them. Just don't play them and be happy about the other cool stuff that we get in Guild Wars 2. That's how I do it. That's how everyone should do it, and everyone would be happy about it. Have you tried Power Mirage after the patch? It feels really good. Yeah, I think it's really good finally. I agree. Yeah. I just recommend that you give Revenant at least to level 45-50 before you decide if you like it or not. You need to have 2 full legend and 2 full trades to finally feel Revenant flavor. Yeah, I think in general, deciding if you like a class before level 80, I would not recommend. If you really dislike the class already in the first 10 levels, you say this is definitely not for me, sure, switch. But I would say if you are like undecided, I would rather go to level 80 and see how it feels. Even try the elite specs if you can, because then you actually understand if you will like the class. Because some elite specs are like insanely changing the gameplay of a class. I would, for example, never play Core Revenant, and I really like to play Renegade, Herald, even Vindicator. I really like to play those builds. So it's really like, for me, sometimes it's really important that you try out stuff that comes a little bit later. Yeah. Yeah, CO, don't worry. No problem. Always happy to help. Rev is really a class that the core spec, whilst playable, really does not have the profession justice. Yeah, exactly, I agree. The elite specs really change it, and in a way better way. You know, a lot of other elite specs, I would say just add a little bit or make it a little bit different take. For example, Reaper is just a core necromancer with a different take. But Revenant is like completely redefined. You can clearly see that a Revenant without an elite spec is like feeling like a hollow class, in my opinion. It is playable, don't get me wrong. I'm just saying that the elite specs is what the flavor is really in. Yeah. So, what do we want to do? Let's do some fractals, I guess. Do we have here today? CM Boon here? Let's do that. Let's do that. Yeah, of course Guild Wars 2 has its flaws, don't worry, I totally agree with that. Yeah, Guild Wars 2 has flaws while also having crazy good points, for sure. Big advantages as well. It's just Guild Wars 2 in every game has negatives and positives. That's just how it goes, I would say. I'm so jealous of people that are leveling characters now with the weapon mastery, so all classes you can have all weapons. Yeah, that's really good. I agree. Really good point. It's not something that we had in the beginning. You have to have the Soto story unlocked a little bit to get that, or at least you can also get it from World vs. World. But yeah, I agree. You should DPS, it's time. I don't trust pack groups, I really don't. But I agree. I think at some point I just have to say, you know, I play DPS. That's the only thing that I play. And then I try out like 10 different builds and fractals and DPS builds and always compare them. Yeah, I think that should be the time. But right now, I really don't trust them. Especially if I join a KP group that is like not looking like a very experienced group. I also have to tune that down again. Revenant core is really bad. The first time I created one, I dropped because I was playing core while farming the hero points. Yeah, I think core Revenant doesn't feel that great, I agree. I deleted 4 Revenants before I kept one. That's insane, that's crazy. I think I deleted 1 character in my whole life. Except key farming characters, of course. The thing about Revenant is that after learning energy management, every build kind of plays the same. Yeah, but I think the elite specs are still feeling different enough to make them interesting. That's at least my take. You deleted an ally? I mean, that happens. Sometimes you have to delete a character if you don't like it. That's okay. I'm just saying better keep them. They give some nice presence and can be used as a storage. Core Revenant, you really need to be the beeline battle scars to make it feel okay. Yeah, I think there are some traits that really help you to get that and have fun with the class, but if you don't take them, it feels worse. And I would say in general, you should typically not like stick to Core Revenant. I think you have way more fun playing in the elite specs. Let's play the boon rounds. The puck should do it. Maybe. But then the boon uptime is so bad sometimes. I really don't trust people in puck groups. It's like really, I get scared so easily, you know? I don't know. What healer builds do you like the best in strikes or raids? Chronomancer, and right now I really like Tempest and Spectre. They are really, really good. They are, in my opinion, the top tier builds right now. If I want to play multiple builds on one character, do I have to have ascended equipment for every build, even if the stats are the same? No, you don't have to do that. You can use equipment templates. So equipment templates can help you getting exactly what you wanted there. So getting just same gear can be used in multiple equipment templates that I have set up here. And you can use them even if it's exotic only. And that is obviously really helpful. Of course, it makes more sense with legendary gear because you then don't need to have any other gear than that. But if you have, for example, one character that uses some Berserk and Assassin pieces where other character uses full Berserker, you can use the Berserker gear on both of them. Yes, that works. If you play Heal Chrono, you always have 100% quickness and alacrity if you're quickness. What's the best? That's true. That's true. I mean, in this fractal, I actually have very high uptime all the time as well because I have like this signet. And that's like insane value. It's like insane. It's like completely. Look at the spoons. What is this? I think this is like one of the biggest strengths of Chronomancer, that you can easily fill a role such as this. Tell me one other class that can like do something like that. It's insane. Chronomancer is just broken. I mean, every time I play it, I think, what is this class? What's the best Revenant build for PvE at the moment? Depends a bit what role you want to fill. Because I would say if you want to fill DPS, I think the best role, in my opinion, is Condition Renegade. I think Condition Renegade is really good. If you want to fill a Fractal DPS role or a Fractal role in general, I would go for Power DPS Renegade. Maybe Alacrity as well, depending on the role and the situation. And if you want to fill Healer, I would go for Vindicator. So, and if you want to fill the DPS role in Strike missions, I would go for Vindicator, Power Vindicator. So there are many options. I think all of them have solid places, but you can't stick to one elite spec only, I would say. And even Herald is in a really good spot if you want to have crazy good boon uptime as well. Stop gatekeeping. I'm sorry. Have I any news about the World vs. World rework? I don't know. Did they put out something today? Because if not, then I don't have any news about it. It's just I didn't hear anything regarding any World vs. World reworks. Yeah, we didn't get a new icon today. I was a little bit surprised by that. I hope we get one tomorrow, though. I puck a lot and Chronos generally seem bad at protection uptime. I mean, to be honest, if you just use your F2 shatter with 3 clones all the time and keep track of it, then it's actually the protection uptime is really, really good. It's 100% easily, but you have to do that. If you don't do it, then of course you don't have 100% uptime because it's like the only skill that provides that. So you really want to do that. This one provides it as well, but it's a little bit gimmicky. And especially if you use the signet, you don't have any issues anyway. because it's like extending the boon duration of your allies. But yeah, I would say if you know how to play this build, I actually think uptime of Chronomancer protection is like insane. Still 100%, and that's good enough. Yeah, I agree. It's like it can be finicky if your party is spreading out and you just don't have the reach for all of that. But I think if you do it correctly and shatter with 3 clones all the time, it's like really easy to upkeep at 100%. It's just a problem in fractals like this, where you spread out, where people are just not standing all the time, then you don't have protection uptime. In this fractal, it doesn't matter too much if you have 100% protection uptime. But in strike mission and raids, in some encounters especially, protection is like insane. It's not, I would say it's not very easy. It was very easy before they nerfed the protection uptime, but I think it's still surprisingly easy because of this like resetting. I can also use my Signet of Illusions to just get it once again. So for me, in most situations, it's like surprisingly easy even after the nerfs. Yeah. Yeah, I think a lot of people play Chronomancer. It was broken, even more broken before, and you just spam all your buttons. And people do that now as well, and then they get punished for it with not having the perfect boon uptime. Or I would say the party gets punished because of that. Yeah. But what can you say? You know, sometimes it's like, sometimes it's a skill issue, even for the healers, or especially for healers. So, you know, you have to accept that you have to read the skills and especially the traits as well, how they work. Only then you can play a build perfectly. That's why in my build guides, a lot of people say you could make the build guides way more concise. Yes, I could do that. I could cut out like 80% of my talking about the build and say, this is the traits, this is the gear, play that. But I think explaining why I take those traits, why I take those gear stats and stuff, this is the important part about learning a build. And if people can't be trusted to read that on their own, then I think it's important that I can at least explain it to them why I take those. Hope that makes sense. Don't want to be toxic here or anything. I'm just saying it's sometimes better if you have someone explaining the whole build in detail than you having to read it on your own and don't understanding the synergies. Welcome, Miguel. Welcome, welcome. The open world builds that I post can work in fractals, especially, of course, if you want to solo fractals. But I would say typically I would not recommend running solo builds for fractals because you have 4 teammates typically in fractals, and teammates are like supporting you to some extent, or you support them. So there is way more synergy than just running a selfish build, and you will receive way better results than if you would run a solo build. So I would not recommend you doing that, other than if you would do it like going for some kind of solo challenge or something of fractals, which doesn't give more rewards, but it could be more satisfying for you. So yes, that only then I would recommend it. Yeah, I don't hear anything about world versus world changes, but maybe this guy did know something more. Maybe we will get that in the future. We will see. Don't worry, Drax, don't worry. Play Heal Scourge, Smash Shades with no win to read. That works as well, but I think you are not as good as broken as a Chronomancer. I think it's still true. Chronomancer is the best healer, and yes, you have to read some skills to actually play Chronomancer to his fullest. Yeah, for sure. Doesn't mean it's bad. Definitely not. There we go. You did it. If you have Herald quick DPS, then you don't really care about F2 shatters at 3. That is true. Herald quick DPS is like insane boon uptime. You just use whatever you want and you have permanent of it. It's really, really good. But I think it's not very common to see that anymore. It's not. Yeah. Thanks for the follows, and thanks a lot, Snowdrop, for the Prime. Really appreciate it. I want to see 57% quickness uptime, 71% quickness, alacrity, and 2 downs at every point in time. No. Not on my watch. When I play support, we don't get that. So what's next? A lot of CC. Chrono for the win. Yes, that is true. Is every elite spec of Mesmer playable as power DPS or aggressive DPS playstyle? Yes, it is. Actually true. You can play Power Mirage, Power Virtuoso, and Power Chrono. All of those work as power. Yes, you can do that. What do you think the new Thief Elite would be like? I mean, it could be a Dervish, but It could be some kind of assassin. We don't know. It could be like some kind of pirate as well. We really don't know. It could be anything. ArenaNet doesn't give us any information. I have no like crazy fantasy that is actually like guaranteeing me to have that. But maybe you have some cool ideas and maybe they actually come true as well. You know, you never know. So I think this group is good enough for the Insta CC. Let's just hope so. By the way, I really like your heal elect Mirage video. Very helpful. Explained the mechanics really well. Very good. That's what I like to hear. But I always want to mention that. Thanks for giving me some positive feedback. But I'm always very happy if you give me some constructive feedback as well. If you have any constructive feedback regarding my streams, regarding my videos, anything, I'm always happy to improve. So let me know always in the comments. Just be friendly and civilized about it. I don't want to have comments that are like, this video is shit. You are just stupid. No, that doesn't help me. If you give me a friendly comment saying, you could have done that and that better, then I will try to improve it next time. Really, really nice. Thanks for letting me. What's a dervish? I mean, dervish, I don't exactly know how a dervish plays because I didn't play Guild Wars 1, but I know it's somewhat related or could be related to some kind of thief elite spec. So I think maybe someone in chat actually knows. Oh my god. This was a late portal and it wasn't me. It wasn't me. Wow, I returned just in time for 98 cm. Perfect. So we will get to the water phase in like a few seconds. And then I can explain it to you. So I'm the healer. I'm currently quickness heal, but it doesn't really matter for that fight. So I can show you the water phase here. And then I can also show the tether mechanic. Typically after 33% you are the healer, so you should actually take the tethers as well. So we now place a portal here, we will get knocked out or pushed out. And you don't need to do the portal, just meet in the middle. And then you see this tether here. I'm currently targeted and I see those tidal bargain stacks going up. And as soon as it reaches like 10, everyone gets a really huge chunk of damage. I'm just pressing my healing buttons here of cooldown and taking care of that my party members are just not trolling and going out of the group. Then this is like completely fine. But you can just see and look at them like how many stacks they have, 4, 5. You can give some barrier before the green hits so that it doesn't hit that hard. And you just take those tethers and just make sure that no one actually gets to 10 stacks before you take over, and then you just repeat that. And during the water phase, this happens as well. So you really want to make sure that your party actually does everything correctly. That was a very weird CC, I have to be honest. We did get the CC, very good. That's the water phase. Yeah, Minion Mancer could be really cool. I agree. It's a lot of people. I personally don't care too much about it, but I think a lot of people would really enjoy having a Minion Mancer on Necromancer for sure. Turret Inchi? I guess. But I think Turret Inchi could already be played if you wanted to. I'm not sure if an elite spec is like, what would the elite spec be? With turrets, I think you already have the pet with Mechanist. So I personally think it would be more likely to give something that is not a pet anymore. But maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just a pet hater in general in Guild Wars 2. They are so stupid, that's the problem. Dervish seems more like Revenant class. You would harness the gods of Balthasar, Grenth, and Alyssa. Yeah, that could be true. Could be true. Maybe. We don't know. I just predicting here. I think Assassin could be something like that. I don't know how it would look like. How would an Assassin look like? I really don't know. But could be. Could be. No, I don't do more. That's good. An easy win for ANET is to lean into those things that players ask for sure. It's always better to use your players, like say, desires to get a lot of money out of them than just coming up with something new that no one asked for. For sure, 100%. Does that mean that they will not do it? We don't know. We will see. ANET is always like a really, like, not predictable in that sense, I would say. I'm not Snowdrop. I'm not. Please don't listen. That's not true. Dervish is melee with enchantments that make you tank massive AoE. Slicing damage. I mean, could be. You know, could be something like that. Ugh. How much CC was left on that thing? Like nothing. Nice, we got the push out. That's very good. That's what we like. I will not CC here, otherwise it might bug. And there we go. Next phase again. I really like this fractal. If you have a decent group, it gets very fast very soon. I don't have the CC. No. There we go. It's a little bit annoying if the DPS is so fast that I don't have my double more up. That's okay. Give us a new Seraph Elite for Revenant. That would be interesting. Very interesting. I mean, what would the skills look like? Something, what would be the niche that they fill with that? I don't know, but it sounds very interesting. Cool idea. Rev will harness the Spirit of Air? Could be. I mean, could be. I'm not sure. That would be some kind of spoiler, but at least at this point, I think people would not care. So maybe. Could be some kind of pet spec, because you would actually get the Garm, the dog, the wolf. Could be, yeah. Interesting. Very cool ideas here in chat. People only like more for Insta CC on hardcore content, like Wing 7, Wing 6 stuff. That's true. More is really, really good. I wish they would do something with Warrior, because Warrior feels useless in Guild Wars 2. I wouldn't go as far as and would say it feels useless, but I would agree Warrior is in a weird spot. It's quite niche. It's not as good as a lot of people would like it to be. So I think giving some crazy cool new Warrior spec, that would help it a lot for sure. I don't think we'll get Dervish. I really hope we get. I really think so. But, you know, you never know. Maybe they come up with something that is like absolutely insane. Do we have some... Should I trust the Boon Corrupt of those guys? Yeah, I trust it. Blade Zone is very powerful, but it's not something that I would say a lot of people play, because it's a little bit niche. Not a lot of people actually can perform on it very well. 1 second. Would love if you ever played upload videos on CM Fractals with Alacrity Heal Scourge. I personally think, I agree, I should do that, but I personally also think it's not as good as you would really like to have a support in CM Fractal CMs. That's sadly the truth. I really think CM Fractals are like the king is Chronomancer. Like, what is going on? Oh, no challenge mode. That's going on. Yeah, but maybe I do it in the future. Don't worry. Yeah, Warrior is like really... The DPS is the thing that carries Warrior, and I feel like that's not a really good thing for a class to getting carried by, because it's not very unique. Every class can fill the DPS role. So I personally think it's way better if you had a class that is like providing some kind of unique skills with it. Like, for example, you have Virtuoso, which typically is considered as one of the safest DPS picks, because it provides so much crazy invulnerability with the kit as well. Stuff like that, and that's something that Warrior misses. Warrior doesn't have, for example, like crazy utility in the kit while being a good DPS. So yeah, what can I say? I think I hope that Warrior gets some love. Yeah, Chronomancer is too good. Exactly. No, I'm not saying Heal Scourge is bad for Fractal CMs. I'm just saying Chronomancer is way better. So I typically don't play builds that are mediocre or a little bit lackluster, or not as good as other builds that I play. So that's the problem. I'm always trying to go for the most optimal choice if I can play it. That's why I don't play Heal Scourge in Fractal CMs. That's just my take. That doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. Maybe I should do a video about it and showcase that you can easily do it. Especially, for example, Tempest can also be played, because people think, oh, Tempest is not as good. Not true. Tempest is really good, actually. Chronomancer also good in 99 CM. It's good everywhere. Yeah, it is like insane. Yeah. No, it doesn't have a problem if you run full Harrier with Dagger, like I just do here. With Harrier and Dagger, you have no problem clearing the ads. No at all. It's really, really good. Really, really good. And it works in every single encounter. It's really... the go-to option, I would say, for support. Yeah, Warrior wants a functional, I would say any functional Condi build other than Condi Berserker. But the problem is, I think Warrior has like no weapon support. I'm not joking. I think the weapons on Warrior are the biggest problem in terms of conditioned weapons. There are like 3 Condi weapons, yeah? And you have like 15 power weapons. So why do we not get one more Condi weapon or some kind of Condi build that is actually getting crazy use out of the utility and of the other things of your Condi weapons? I really don't get it, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, Snowdrop doesn't have to join every day. That's completely fine. Don't worry. Yeah, Stab H's combo of Chrono's crazy. Yeah, exactly. You know, I can upkeep permanent stability in this fight, which is obviously really... My DPS players just have to corrupt the boons if I don't have any boon corrupt here. So yeah, really, really solid pick for CMs. That's why I like that. And you can't do that on Necromancer. It's just impossible on Scourge to do that. And I just want to go for the optimal and fastest option. That's the whole reason here. I think Heal Scourge, especially the 20k Celestial version 1, is really good in organized groups. That might be true, yeah. But I think I pack, so I don't like think about organized groups if I pack, because it's like I will not succeed in packs if I think like organized groups. That's not gonna work. You know, packs are so chaotic, so unpredictable. It's just, I think it will better work out always going for the safe route, going for full healer, and yeah, making the way. Do you think Aura Share Tempest? Yeah, Aura Share Tempest is really good. I like it. It's working in all game modes, but right now in PvE, it's actually like a really, really good. I think it's a really underrated build after the patch. It's so insane. It's so easy. Easiest Alacrity uptime in my life. It's really, really good. I have a warrior friend that, what should he gear up for 99, 98 CM? I mean, you can play Bladestorm actually. That's the funny thing. You can play Power Bladestorm and it works surprisingly well. I wouldn't recommend it typically, but I think it's the best option. I think I would not go for Condi Berserker. I think that's not working that well. I think it's better to go for some kind of Bladestorm and play it better correctly. It works very well in 99 CM and it works surprisingly well actually in 98 CM as well. But that's just my take. Maybe you ask the warrior main a bit more about it. I'm just not playing enough warrior right now to actually make, at least not in fractals. Do you have any... Yeah, this was very close to skipping the bomb. Glad, Ryan, that you're in Jamaica. It's more to come, don't worry. More to come. Yeah, exactly. You never know what you get in packs. You know, that is like a really crazy experience. Sometimes you get really good packs. Sometimes you get packs that are like... Yesterday I had a Quickness DPS Scrapper doing 5k DPS on Whisper of Chormek and Bone Skinner. And I was really surprised because I wrote them and said, you can go Quickness DPS, you know, I'm the healer. And they said, yeah, I will do that. And then they said, and did the same DPS, you know? So, okay. That's like, sometimes, it was so close. Yeah, sometimes you never expect what you get. And I just accept it and embrace this, you know? I embrace pugging in Guild Wars 2. It's like a really big experience. I want to try Elementalist for the first time ever, maybe Celestial Tempest. Yeah, I think Celestial Tempest is a very safe, easy build to get into. And you can then slowly work your way to the little bit more challenging elite specs like Catalyst or even Viva if you wanted to. I think Tempest is a very good starting point, especially Celestial. Good option there. I've tried the Guardian auto attack build, but I'm only getting 25k DPS. I mean, the thing is, if you have the perfect gear and follow the rotation perfectly, you should get to the same number that I do. But if you get 25k in realistic fights, you will be fine. That's like a lot more DPS than a lot of players typically do. You're like, that really playing this safe build, don't underestimate how much damage you do in real scenarios. It's really, really good. So don't worry about it too much if it's like a little bit of a difference. Don't worry too much. typically, I think if you follow the build video, you should actually reach a very similar number because there is nothing in there that is really like typically some mistakes that you can do because it's like really, really easy. It's one of the easiest builds to play. Maybe you forgot some gear, maybe you don't have the perfect setup on the golem, 25 vulnerability, 20, like all the mites and all that stuff. If you have that, typically you should reach the same number because it's like really just the auto attacking and stuff. The safe build is the rival mech. Yeah, rival mech is also really good. I think rival mech is a little bit more challenging than hammer auto attack guardian only, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't play it. You know, it's still a very, very good build. Especially in really ranged heavy encounters where you don't really need bursts. It's like one of the best, if not the best power build to be played. It's so safe. It's crazy. Yeah, good point. I just play CMs -100 all maps on a Thief Daredevil power staff build and still, yeah, Daredevil is like, I would say that's the class on Thief that I would play in Fractals all the time because it's surprisingly good, but you have to understand that it's like melee and sometimes that can be a little bit annoying in some Fractals and especially in the CMs where you want to kill the mobs also or deal damage to it while you also have some ranged, while you kite and do some mechanics and stuff. So sometimes it can be a little bit annoying on a staff build, but I think it might still be okay. We skip. I guess we skip by exploding the bomb. Let me, please heal me. They are not healing me. There we go. Yeah, you should not die on that spot. I have to be honest. You should not die on that spot. But you know, I did not expect my group to ignore the bomb and then just randomly split after that. But okay, it's fine. We did it. Easy. We did it. I'm trying to learn Milliam to use the range. Yeah, I think ranged in Guild Wars 2 is really, really good. It's really underrated how good that is in real fights. But if you understand how to play melee builds, typically you deal a little bit more damage. Yeah. Is Engineer a good class to main when pursuing Fractal God? Yes, Engineer is really good. You can play Power Scrapper, you can even be Rival Mech, you can play so many different builds, even Holosmith can work, so there are really, really good builds to be played in Fractals. Engineer is really good in PvE right now, so don't worry about it. I have a question about how many axes in the main quest. That is a good question. Maybe someone in chat knows, but there are quite a lot of them. I don't think I did it here on this character. No, I didn't. So I can't tell you, sadly. I don't know. Maybe the wiki knows, and maybe someone in chat knows. Yeah, Renegade is not that easy to master, but if you can pull it off, it's one of the best classes in Fractals. It's really, really, really good. Welcome, Topal. Welcome, welcome. I'm doing well. Hope you're doing well as well. And hope you had a nice day so far. I'm putting out more YouTube content for you. Don't worry, don't worry. So much more to come. But I'm very glad that you all enjoy my YouTube content. Thanks. So what do we have for instabilities? Nothing special. That's good. I'm not sure if this group is doing the Kinfall one as well after we did that. We will see. And then we can see if people die to the Kinfall Whisper of Jormak one-shot attack. It's always a funny thing to see. 8 chapters. Yeah, okay, that's it, I guess. 8 chapters. It's been like over 10 years since I played the original story, I have to be honest. It's like, I did it like once. That's it. But you know, it's worth doing once, I guess, and then you are done. You can repeat it, but typically you wouldn't. Guild Wars 2 story, I would say, yeah. I mean, I'm not the biggest story enjoyer, so maybe I'm just a little bit biased, but personally, I think there are better story games out there. But when you're done with it, you actually can access a lot of cool locations as well, of course. Whole core story on all 70 characters? That would be a challenge I would break. I would break so hard. I would probably break on the first character already. You know, it's like the story is too slow. They are not as slow as the bear talkings, but it's still too slow for my taste. And, you know, there's so little combat in there in a lot of the story steps where you just have people talking and sometimes you have to press F only. Feels really bad. I just can't do it. And I think it would also not be that fun to watch because it's like there is no content and I would just talk. And why would I play the game at all then? You know, I could just talk to you guys anyways, and that would be probably the same amount of fun, maybe even more fun, that you didn't have to listen to the same storylines for the 69th time. But could be an interesting challenge, maybe some kind of sub goal if I really wanted to do that. Yeah, maybe in the future. Is there a big difference between CM and normal mode? The rewards are somewhat better, yeah. I think you get like 250, 2.5 gold per CM, something like that. So it's really worthwhile getting the CM if you can do it, something like that. Don't pin me on the number, but I think that's somewhat realistic. 2 gold, 2.5 gold per CM. So it's quite nice. What does that red cone out of each player do? So this is like a instability here. Where is it? One of those gives me this thingy, and you can also get it, I think, in this fractal in general, that you vomit, and it just decreases, I think, the damage that that you do to the enemies, and it just does a lot of damage to you. So you typically want to avoid that, and don't spit on your allies. That's really like the thing that you want to do. Is it really important and does it matter for a lot of situations? Not really. You will be fine, and even if you do it, but if you can avoid it, it's obviously better. No, we don't get a cap. Come on, go in. Okay, now they cap it. Very good. Oh, it would be absolutely horrible to watch, but I like to see the pain in people's eyes. Yes, that's mean. I don't want to be the person that experiences that, to be honest. Yeah, you should do 100 CM too. I personally, if I had people that I would know that are actually doing the mechanics correctly and stuff, I personally would do 100 CM. I think 100 CM is not my favorite fractal, but the rewards are worth it, and it's actually quite fast if you have a decent group. And you just need to have people that know what they're doing. And in packs, sometimes you have just really bad people, and I don't want to do that in packs. That's just the whole thing. If I had 4 people, or at least 3 that do the mechanics correctly, I don't care. I would do 100 CM every day. But right now, I don't have that in packs, so I don't do it. That's the whole thing. A fun challenge would be to clear a raid wing in yellow gear. I mean, people did it actually, I think, in green gear already. I'm pretty sure I saw Veil Guardian green, full green gear clear. Yeah. I'm currently I'm having almost everything from the account bound stuff that is necessary for the new backpack. I don't rush it because I obviously already have it, and I think if I wait, I will get actually way more, so to say, save money there and save gold, because I don't need it right now, but I have like almost every single thing of the account bound currency for it, so I will craft it at some point this year on stream, I guess. But it is not like, it's not on my to-do list very highly. I just, you know, currently I'm doing most of the time content creation. I don't really care about getting new legendaries in that sense, but will be at some point will be happening. Yeah. Yeah, I think I will do 100 CM training. If I had people that I know that actually deal high DPS, or at least know what they are doing, then we will do it. So if you, Echo Fox and Snowdrop, are interested and find me 2 more people that actually want to join in a dedicated 100 CM fractal training, we will do it. I have no problem. I think the fractal is actually quite easy to learn if you have someone that actually tells you how to do it. Really not bad. Really, people die on the pucks in the Kinfall fractal. I can see that. I really can see that happening, to be honest. But yeah, hopefully we will not get it this time. I got the title on stream, I think. That was quite fun. But I think it's not. It's really not that bad. I think personally, it's really like, if you understand what kind of marker you have to look out for, it's really easy, in my opinion, to actually get the tell for it and just avoid it every time. We will see it when we do it. I think we will do it in this group. So we will see how the marker looks and how many people die in this pack group. I hope nobody, because then it goes way faster. But you never know. You never know. If you play Gluttony and do guarantee higher success, yeah, I think that's what I would do. And if in a training group, I would play the Gluttony. I would play Gluttony Willbender. And because I know how to do that, and then I would probably be quite happy if I had a decent healer with me. Then we would probably succeed the boss. It's really, I think it's actually one of the easier ones. It's just you have to understand your role. It has special roles, and if you don't do the roles correctly, you will fail. So I think 100 CM training coming soon, I guess. Yeah, that's the highest difficulty. It is. Exactly. Atrocity Relic and the correct build, it's like carrying the group so hard, it's insane. What would be your dream changes for Guild Wars 3? To be honest, there are many things that I think could be better, but I don't really want to talk about Guild Wars 3 every stream because I feel like it gives the wrong impression to new players, because Guild Wars 2 is in a really healthy state in terms of what we actually can experience as a new player. It's just the old players who always want to have talking about a new game. I think personally the biggest feature that I would see is some longevity in the new game. So that if I want to play alone, if I want to play in a group, if I want to play like in a challenge, I could be doing that. Something like 5-person to like 1-person to 10-player content should be like scalable content that you could do farm infinitely. And you get a lot of content out of that. I think that would be really cool. That's my highest hope for the new game. But it's really hard. There are so many things and so many hopes that I have with the game. But I take everything that they put out. If it's some kind of good combat, I take everything. Is Condi DPS Virtuoso decent enough for some CMs? Yes, it is. It is really good, actually. I would highly recommend Condi DPS Virtuoso if you are struggling with some mechanics and stuff, because it's very safe. It's very, very good. I wouldn't say it's like really bad. I would say the DPS in a lot of situations is lower than other Condi builds, yes. But if you need a very safe pick, especially for progression groups and stuff like that, it can be very worthwhile going for. Celestial Alacrity Scourge and just out DPS the Willbender trainee. I mean, the thing is with the Willbender thing, if you're the Gluttony person, it's actually not showing up on your group's thing. Or they don't do Kinfall. That's sad. That's sad. I wanted to showcase it. Yeah, I think the Gluttony is like, if it would show up in the Arc DPS, not only for the self stats, but also for the group stats, it's like you have 130k DPS. It's really, really high. It's really high. Also talking about fractals in general, do you know about the 42 scale map farm? Yes. You farm my Trin and it's really good. It gives really good gold per hour, but you need a fast group and you have to understand how to do the skip at the beginning. If you do that very consistently, you get like insane gold per hour. You get like up to 60 or something like that gold per hour, 24/7 possible. It's really, really good. Yeah, so it's still very good, but you need to have a good group for that. Not a lot of people I see do that anymore. It's just not very common anymore, even though it's really good. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I don't know why people skipped it. I just say now we will do it. People just randomly don't do it, but I think it's 2.5 gold. You know, why would I skip that for like 5 to 10 minutes of content that is actually fun to do? Why would I skip that? 100k DPS club? Exactly. You would get like 130 if you play it perfectly. Something like that is possible. Gluttony is like insane. You get the highest damage numbers ever because of the lifesteal. It's 130k is with the right build possible. It's really, really good. But of course you have to know what you're doing. You have to have the right supports with you. And you also have to, you know, you have to trust the others to actually do their mechanic as well. So yeah, really, really cool boss fight in that regard. But yeah, I don't want to puck it. I don't know how many times I fell off the platform climb. Yeah, I mean, you can see it and you can also take stability, but of course, if you, it can be annoying. I can feel it, yeah, for sure. I did this fractal quite a lot of times already, fractal god and all. That means that you just did it a lot of times, I would say, at some point. But, oh, I didn't place a portal. Let me swap. I want to take another portal and completely confuse the puck group. Okay. Take it back. Nice, we have another pot. So confusing, two mesmas and all the portals. It's so good. How many portals? That was like 5 or so? So now we can do the skip. Can we? Or can't? Where is it? I thought it's here. I think you have to do it before. It's fine. Yeah, exactly. If someone is already up there, I can't skip it anymore. I think that's how it works. So let's do the end boss. I think World vs. World Spear Chrono is surprisingly good. I made a build guide about it and I think it's really, really fun. I really enjoy this kind of playstyle. It's not for everyone. It's also not like the easiest build to play, but it's really, really good in my opinion. Yeah, the Tempest build is really good. I'm happy to hear that you had fun as well. I thought I might have been some bias there because I'm an Elementalist enjoyer, but I really liked the Tempest build, the healing one. It's feeling so... What can I say? It's feeling so safe and smooth. It feels like a really cool healer to be playing. It's really nice. Are tier 4s a huge jump from tier 3? No, not at all. It's actually probably even the case that tier 4 fractals are easier for you to do because the groups there are better. And the tier 3 groups are a little bit worse. So typically the experience jump in players is actually way bigger than the real challenge jump that you would get from the fractal. So it's actually quite funny. It might actually get easier for you. But yeah, that's just maybe my impression. I did not do a lot of tier 4 and tier 3 comparison there, but I think that's quite likely to be the case, I would say. Yeah, I mean, Fractal God is just something that is like telling you that you played a lot of fractals. That's just the only thing. And if you have that, then you know that you played like Cliffside Fractal, for instance, like already won 200, 300 times or something. Yeah, so I think I know the jumping now. T4s are a huge jump. The average IQ of your party exponentially rises by about 75 points. I wouldn't go as far as to say that, but I would say it's like the jump of experience is insane, whereas the jump in difficulty is like minuscule, and that means that you actually, it will be easier if you get into T4 fractals. It's crazy, yeah. Okay, so we needed some CC for the wisps, and I will not take the bear form. Yeah, exactly. I can't do the skip exactly. I'm just too bad here on stream to do all of that stuff. But yes, you should be able to do it. But I think I was at the right spot, but I think it's not possible if someone is already up there. I think that's some weird interaction, or did the mechanic already, because then you are locked out of the room with the chains. So that was what was happening here. Didn't matter. We were there fast, but I think I did this skip correctly. Just too late, so to say. don't worry, you know, you don't have to do stuff that you don't like. I'm just saying, I think personally fractals from tier 3 to tier 4 is very worthwhile getting. You know, if as soon as you reach tier 3, the goal should be getting out of there very, very fast. It will be way easier if you get out of there. It's just my recommendation. You will also get more loot. That is true, of course, as well. And you will probably clear the fractals faster too. So it's just get out of there as fast as possible. That is just my like big tip for fractals. Yeah, I think getting some kind of add-on that shows you the skips, that is completely fine. I personally like it to have the knowledge myself without having any markers on, but if that works for you. Okay. Yeah, it's a wisp. Just brute force yourself to 150 AR and start with tier 4. If you find groups for that, yes. If you find groups for that, it's not a problem, but you have to find groups because you can't see, that's the sad part. You can't see your, where is it, fractal thing if you don't have the fractal level. It's like really annoying. It's not guaranteed. Are they doing the skip? There's another skip that you can do here. So it's, I would say, quite bad the system that you can't see the fractal announce or advertisement of groups in tier 4 fractals if you don't already are with the fractal level in tier 4. It's really bad in my opinion. It's not something that is healthy in any way in terms of the player base, but yeah, you can't circumvent it by anything. You just have to accept that you announce your group in the map chat or something like that, or that you want to join something, and then you will find some people, I guess. But yeah, it's really annoying. Yeah, or join a guild, exactly. Join a guild, Discord server, something like that. That helps, of course, as well. I would always recommend it in general if you are a new player and want to get more, so to say, easy content done and stuff, learning the game. It's always more fun and it's faster if you have some kind of community that helps you out, for sure. Just see. Nice. There's a taco that gives all fractal skips? Yes, there is. There is. There's almost a taco for anything. So it's surprising how much stuff you can actually do legally in Guild Wars 2, like showing where actually you have to do skips and stuff. It's actually surprising how much you can do. Okay. So almost at the end boss. Let's see how many people will die. Yes, there is, you know, sometimes you can even eat a taco. You know, that's insane. People won't believe it, but yes, tacos are so flexible. It's insane. If someone that isn't playing Guild Wars 2 hears me talking about stuff like that, then they think I'm crazy. Maybe they even think I'm crazy even though they know I'm talking about Guild Wars 2. Could be, could be. I really hate that most of them have a break bar. I can't pull them in. It's so good. Skips only work if the team knows about it. Only 3 skips are used. That is true. Nice, we did it. Okay, so do we go for the slow CC strat? Maybe. Let's go. Molten Boss Teleport and Categorized and Ether Blade. Yeah, those 3 are also the most time saving for the most part, I would say. Oh no, I was going too fast. Now we have to go up. How many people died? No one! Very good. Looks promising already. I mean, this fractal is really one of the easiest challenge modes I have, or is the easiest challenge mode, I really have to say. Okay, next time is the one shot in the air. Let's do that one correctly, I guess. Is it bugged? Why is it not attacking anymore? Interesting. This is CM. This is the CM fractal. It's really not that bad, to be honest. really not. It's especially with a decent group that doesn't die to the one-shot attacks, it really feels like not worth as like saying this is only challenge mode. You know, it does not feel like a challenge mode. Let's see how many people die. No one. Very good. We are getting there. We are getting there with no one dying. We almost a title run. Crazy. I would never have expected to get a puck run that is the title run. That sounds good. I mean, to be honest, it's also not that hard. So don't be scared. Do this fractal if you enjoy doing fractals. It's really not that bad. You will get to know how it works. Scrappers are really broken here because they actually get the barrier, which is not affected by agony. So they actually get so much healing and they don't need my healing. It's actually insane. It's a DPS increase to move out of those all the time if you're not getting one shot. Keep that in mind because it's obviously moving you in the air and you can't do your DPS rotation. So always to move out of the group to see the stack attack. Yeah, we did it. Very good. That was a nice title run. This fractal scam, it's not in the weekly. Is it? Crazy. That's actually crazy. I did not know that. But I know that we now get the challenge mode rewards, and that's all I'm asking for. I'm really easy to being like to satisfy with fractal CMs and stuff. Just give me the fractal CM rewards. Doesn't have to be in the weekly. It's not too bad. I'd say I like it. I log videos for 100 hours, I guess, from Guild Wars 2 and streams also. But when I play, I never can't decide what I want to play with, which class. That's completely fine, you know, play with all classes. Then you will be happy as well. Oh, it's chaos. Déjà vu. Yeah, I think just play the class that you enjoy at this moment. You know, I'm always switching and mixing, matching what I currently want to play at this day. Sometimes I play like Elementalist the whole week. Sometimes I don't play it for a whole month. So just play what you like. It is in the weekly. That guy 100% lies. I've had it. No, I think the thing is, it's not in the weekly fractal. How is it called? In the achievement, I think that's the thing. I think it's in the rotation of the daily fractals. There it is 100%. But I think it's not in the, how is it called? In the weekly rewards where you have to do a specific amount of fractals. I think there it might not be in there. I'm not completely sure though. I didn't check and I don't really care. I will do it anyway. So. Yeah, exactly. I want to have multiple compensations. I think I did it every time since it came out, and I did not get all of them. You know, I did like miss 4 of 3 rewards. So maybe give me some compensation for that. They will never do that, but that would be nice of them for sure. I don't have my pull ready. It's just too much damage. It's in the Wizard's Vault. When you do a fractal, the 6 weekly T4 does not have Kinful. Yeah, exactly. That's what I meant. Yeah, that's a little bit sad, to be honest, that it's not in there. I think sometimes they just forget. You know, that's the same with the. I think it was the Mistborn Barons map. It was like 3 weeks after it came out. It was added to the LFG. That's like an oversight. I would have seen like that instantly when it was released. You know, why is it not in the LFG and why did they need 3 weeks to fix it? Stuff like that. It's actually insane to me. But you can just see that they are not really focused on the game right now, at least on the current upkeep, I would say. Fractals, you'll do a jumping puzzle, whether you want or not. I think, to be honest, if you play Fractals like very casually, you don't have to do any jumping puzzles for the most part. Some Fractals like Chaos has some in there, yes. But if you do it very fast, you want to do Fractals very fast, then there are so many jumping puzzle skips that you could do. It's actually insane. 100%. So if you don't like that, then you would probably not like speedrunning fractals. That much is for sure. Yeah, actually, this is really annoying as well that you have those Baba Nivos Mossad remains are not depositable. All that stuff is like, this is just very annoying. Come on, guys. Then we take stability. What do you think about the heal jump indicator? I saw a stream earlier day about it. Yes, I actually have a build guide coming up about it, and I think it's surprisingly good. Now that they fixed this targeting issue with your alacrity and barrier and stuff on your dodge, I think it's surprisingly good. I would still say it's not the like absolutely insane healer. It's like, in my opinion, a decent healer, but it's not competing against Chronomancer, and it's, in my opinion, still a little bit gimmicky in terms of how you actually upkeep your boons sometimes. So I think it's a decent healer, like an A tier build, but it's not S tier in my opinion. It still needs some help, or it's not perfectly broken like the other healers. But that's fine, you know, not every single healer has to be broken. But apparently if you want to compete against Chronomancer, I guess they have to be, but still, I think it's still decent as a healer. I would recommend you, if you like Vindicator and you want to play a healer, Heal Vindicator is surprisingly good, yeah. Yeah, I think Mistborn is like, it was not even the first times, it was nearly 3 weeks, and it was like, to me, it is insane that like you release a content patch where you say, okay, this is the content that we have, and then they forget that it's actually an MMO. You want to play with other people. That's actually forgotten. Oh, sorry, we forgot that it's an MMO. It's fun to me that they actually do that. So it happens, you know. I'm not really sad about it. I'm just saying it's very fun to me that they forget that stuff multiple times already. Yeah. You can actually get 25 might on the Heal Vindicator, but it is not as easy as on other classes, and it's a little bit annoying sometimes to upkeep that. So I would say it has its struggles, but I would still recommend it to play if you enjoy Vindicator. So it's not a bad healer at all. Single player MMO? Yeah, somewhat. It feels like it at least. You can get any boons with quickness, or what exactly do you mean? I don't understand the question, Sky. Yeah, Firebrand and Chronomancer for Fractals are like absolutely the best. That's just, it will not change in my opinion in the current state of the game. But for strike missions and raids, I think you can easily play Heal Vindicator, to be honest. Maybe I will actually do it after this, when we this Fractal, and then I will actually do one strike mission. I will just play the Heal Vindicator build. Firebrand. I think Firebrand, the problem with Firebrand is that I personally think Firebrand in a really good player's hands is really good. But like 99% of the community doesn't play Firebrand that well. And then I think it struggles quite hard, in my opinion, so that you actually want to upkeep the boons and stuff. But you're right, Firebrand can, especially if you play it Celestial, it can be a really worthwhile pick in a lot of situations. And because of damage, because of the just raw utility it brings, even as a just full healer. So I think Firebrand has its places. But I think if you want to look for one build in all game modes that is not too hard to get into, but hard to master, I think Chronomancer, or for all PvE game modes that is, I think Chronomancer is the healer to go to. I really think so. Come on. Just say that because I never played Heal Harbinger. So the thing is with Heal Harbinger, it is now with the balance patch with the transfusion changes, it's actually surprisingly good. I'm not joking. I think I would put it in a way higher in the tier list than I had before, because it's now definitely playable, which is really fun to me because that's a build that is by design not really, you know, making a lot of sense, because you have no support in your Shroud at all that gives you anything than damage. So it's like a really weird middle ground. Just the traits help you, but the Shroud is like completely useless and you still have to use it to upkeep the quickness. So yeah, but I will actually make a guide about it in the future as well, because it's actually now playable, which is obviously something that is quite fun. That you have a build now like the Heal Alacrity Mirage, stuff like that is surprisingly good now. Yeah, Quickness Firebrand is like... Quickness Firebrand is like insane. Oh, come on, go. Holy shit, how long was that more? Yeah, Quickness Firebrand is like, in my opinion, the most underrated offensive support in the game, but it is also one of the hardest. It has, one of the hardest, I would say. It has surprising amount of button presses and also just general knowledge about how the encounter works and stuff like that have to be working out for you. Only then it works really well. But I think if you know how to use the build, how to do it in the encounter and stuff, then I think it's really broken. It does so much damage. It has so much utility baseline in the kit because of the tomes that you can use if you wanted to for DPS loss though. So it's just very good. I think it would be my go-to quickness DPS if I would really want to play Guardian as a offensive support, for sure. You can play like Celestial Alacrity Mirage, which is probably the best healing, like offensive healer for Mesmer right now, and it reaches up to 18k. So you can play a heal Alacrity Mirage that is like running Celestial gear, and you get insane amount of damage, like 18k, while having crazy healing output as well. I will do a build guide. I think the build guide comes out, I think, the day after tomorrow about it. It's really, really good. People don't know about it yet, but it's like absolutely crazy how much healing and damage it puts out. Really, really, really good. And Condi Chrono is also surprisingly good, but I personally would rather play the Mirage version right now because the Mirage version is actually very fun as well. I like it a lot. I really hope they give him a buff with boon range for the next patch. Yeah, I think the Firebrand problem is that the positioning matters so much, and that's something that is like really not helping players playing the build correctly. That's really the thing. I personally think that Firebrands need to understand how to position, and that's something that makes the build way harder to play than a lot of, or almost any other build in the game, because typically it's around you at a 360, maybe 240 radius, something like that. But Firebrand has this cone, and this cone is really annoying. Sometimes it's impossible to hit all your allies because the allies are spreading out in a weird pattern and you can't hit them. So it's really, really annoying. So Firebrand needs some help there. Then it would be really, really good. Really, really good. Right now, I would say it's in a good spot if you're in the high skill department. If you are new at the game or if you don't know the encounter yet that well, then yeah, I would say it's not perfectly like a carry build because you might like struggle with the boon uptime, struggle with the positioning in general. But I think you can learn it. You can learn it. Yeah, they run stuff. Firebrand 1200 boon radius. Finally, you will have stability on demand. The boss is currently untargetable. Yeah, I mean, that is like, Firebrand could be actually useful with this crazy range, but I think they should, in my opinion, that might be a very hot take, but in my opinion, a 600 boon radius is something that should be very unique. Typical boon radii should be really maximum like 360 maximum. I think 600 boon radius, like a Quickness Herald, this should only exist in very niche builds where you say you take this build because of the big radius. I really think so. I think a build that has really big radius should be very like niche, and you should only pick it because it has such a high radius. It should not be better in general than other builds. So I really hope they include that in their balancing. But like I said earlier, I think the balancing that ANET does is not really revolving around a lot of other stuff than just DPS and boon output. It's sadly not taking into account the range of a lot of stuff, and that I really think that's a little bit sad, but you know, what can you do? Yeah, 99 CM, I think in general you can play all fractals without healer, but 99 CM is just Condis. It does almost no damage. It's if you have Condi cleanses, then, or Condi transfers, then the 99 CM is like, does almost nothing. You don't need to play a healer there. But of course in packs it's just like, I want to make sure to not die because of some random not healed attack. So that's the whole idea there. Okay, so I wanted to play some heal Vindicator. That's what I wanted to showcase. Give me a second. Where can I get a lot of Dragonite ore? That's a good question. I mean, you get it passively from playing PvE or in general doing events. So all of that stuff should work out decently fine. Is there a good farm for it? I think you could open, if you have a lot of fractal stuff lying around, you could just open the, how is it called, fractal inscription boxes, because there comes some ascended stuff out of there as well. But a good farm where you can get that? I'm not so sure actually. One second, let me set up the squad. I think there was no post today as far as I know. Maybe there will be a post tomorrow. I really hope so. But right now we don't have any new information. So what is this player playing? Okay, DPS. Okay, DPS then. Forgot what Dragonite ore looks like. Let me check. Dragonite ore is this looks like this one. This is Dragonite ore. So this ascended account bound currency stuff. Oh no, so many people are joining. A lag here, very good. Snowdrop. Oh no, DPS people. It's fine. So now we need only quick DPS. Hopefully this time we get quick DPS and not only the greedy DPS players that are just like cheesing in here. Yeah, you can get it in Silver Vase. I'm playing on EU. And you can get, like I said, you get it from every single game mode, just playing the game mode. You just have to play it passively and you will get it. I have like full character of this, but of course that doesn't help you because I can't sell it. But if you play a lot of the game or just all the game modes, you will actually get there. What? This player joined and instantly left again? Okay. In 15 days, they will announce the new instrument. I mean, it could be like the Ice Blood Saga announcement where they made some crazy big hype, you know, this big timer that ran down multiple hours, days even. And then at the end, they said, yeah, Ice Blood Saga is coming. And no new elite specs, nothing new, you know. That was like the biggest hype up for nothing. So I really hope they learn out of that and we get some crazy big expansion announcement that is actually like hyping us up and not really saying, oh my god, why did they actually tease us with nothing? So I really hope they will give that. Yeah, we will see. Yeah, exactly. Doing events is the thing that gives you a lot of Dragonite ore. Also, I will activate the most broken build, a one-button finisher. The one-button one. Nice. That's good. We like that one. If you don't die, that's good enough. I mean, I don't want you to die on my showcase of the healing Vindicator, you know, that would be horrible. Exactly, pistol, thief. I mean, it's a good build, especially in strike missions where you only have one target. I mean, to be honest, good build. Yeah, this shield is like very classic shield. You know, this is like, I don't even know how much it costs, but it's like, I like that design. It's so fitting as a shield. It's so good. It's so good. I mean, how much is it? I think it's like 500 gold. Oh, it's actually more expensive. Yeah, but still, you know, it's a good skin. And I think I like it with the design of this like scepter as well. It has this sun orb. I think it's quite fitting. I like that. I mean, you could buy it, you know. Nah, you wouldn't buy it for the 6k, you know. This is like a complete bait. Don't buy it for that one because you get this. This is the weird thing. This is the skin. So you get the skin, that's it. This one is a real item. It is a masterwork item that has the skin. So if you salvage this masterwork item, you get the skin. But why would you buy the masterwork item that costs like 10 times the amount almost, if you can get the same skin and apply it to any weapon that is even masterwork if you wanted to? So it's just, don't buy the 6k one. Buy this one, of course, if you really wanted to. What is going on? No quick DPS. What's happening? We just need one more quick DPS. It's insane. What are people doing? Yeah, 800 is still a bunch. I get that, but if you like the skin, you know, why not? Exactly. Masterwork item is more important and way more worth it than getting the skin, for sure. Yeah, I mean, for me, it's like I have so many skins because of the wardrobe unlocks that I have. I have like the wardrobe unlock doesn't give me any new items anymore. So that's why I got it. Nice, we got finally a quick DPS. And now it fills in seconds, you know, going for DPS, and it takes like a few seconds to fill. They're all the greedy people that want to play DPS. Classic. You know, I can't preview that anymore. I don't have anything in there and unlocked anymore. I have everything unlocked in the guaranteed weapon unlock and the guaranteed wardrobe unlock. That's because why I have that skin as well. Healer can be really boring, I agree, but people wanted to see this build, so that's what you get, you know. The showcase of the heal alacrity vindicator. So you get the target, Snowdrop. You get targeted now. It's very fitting to Revenant, that much is for sure. Yeah, you're not in a race, you know, you can't win the DPS race, or at least only if you get if you play a Celestial build, you can play you can keep in the race and keep participating and try to get like higher than your DPS players if you play Celestial Healer. Yeah, the Great Sword win is also quite nice. Twilight, I think you mean. Yeah. Welcome, Logan. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, I'm very afraid of the title. Yeah, exactly. Now I need an ally target for my skill. You know, I have to use this free skill, which is like a big wall of text. I need to use that one on an ally. Otherwise, I don't keep up my boons. It's like the most important skill in this whole build. No, Twilight is only the dark version, whereas the light version is Sunrise, and both together is Eternity. Yes. The dark one only is the Twilight, yes. This was my first legendary ever. So I hope everyone is here. Let's do that as well. Yeah, Heal Vindicator, people asked for it. I will showcase it here. I think Heal Vindicator is a decent build, don't get me wrong, but it's not the best build. There are better healing builds out there. You have fun with it, but it's not the absolute best. Are we ready? I guess we are ready. And just dodge, you know, just dodge on the allies, you know, that's what we do. And I will not even target the enemy. That's the crazy part about this build. You know, who needs that? I'm just targeting my friends all the time. That's the whole build, you know, just spamming my attacks and giving Snowdrop my boons, I guess. It's a really funny build. What can I say? And I can actually bubble this. Oh, finally, the bubble has some use. Insane. Insane. But now we split. That's not good. I can't heal you when you split. Let's do this and let's go on my Snowdrop. Get some boons again. Very good. And get some healing to my allies. Get some more healing. Really nice. Good build. Glad you enjoy my work. I'm happy to hear that. Don't worry. There will be more cool builds coming soon. And also just more guides in general, I guess. Yeah, just dodge on them. It's really like I just dodge on my allies. That's the whole thing. I'm just dodging and dodging and dodging. And that's it. the whole build. It's really not too bad to play. Guide coming about it very soon as well. And you can see the boon uptime is surprisingly decent. It's really not like big struggle. And I didn't get it. And I can also swap to staff if I need CC, but right now I don't, so. Really safe build. Obviously it doesn't work in every situation perfectly, just because it's like, it lacks a little bit of the utility of a Chronomancer, like a Firebrand, or even some kind of Tempest or Scourge. But it's surprisingly good. Surprisingly good right now. Does Rev have a good open world build? Oh my god, yes. Revenant has insane open world builds. It's like probably the best open world class altogether. I think I think it's the best open world class. And this in particular that you want to have here is the so-called Vindicator. And it is probably the most unkillable build that you can play in open world. It's really good. Play it it's such a safe build. And yeah, what can I say? I would just recommend you to try it out. I have a build guide on my YouTube channel. You can just type !builds in the Twitch chat. And there's actually a guide list of all my YouTube build guides. Just check it out there. And I explain the build there in very much detail. !builds in the Twitch chat, yeah. I wouldn't say... I think the best in the open world is if you take all elite specs into account, you know, want to have like one class that has the best elite specs overall for open world, it's Revenant. I'm pretty sure about that. I would only say that you are right, that we have crazy good Mesmer elite specs and all. We have so many good ones, but for solo builds, I'm talking about solo builds, I think Revenant has the best ones over all of them. But that's just my opinion, you know? It doesn't mean it's the absolute truth, of course. Heal Tempest was my first support spec. I'm trying Chronomancer, but nothing feels quite like Heal Tempest. Yeah, I mean, Heal Tempest, I really enjoy Heal Tempest as well. Just tanking everything here. So good. So now the CC comes, I guess. This time I'm ready. Yeah, you see, Healing Vindicator, very chill build. Just dodge on the allies. That's it. It's the whole thing. There we go. Yeah, Aura Share is insane. Aura Share is like such a fun new addition to Healing Tempest that you can now run Aura Share, Healing Tempest, while also providing alacrity with half of your skills. It's really, really good. But yeah, it still has a little bit of issues. Then, for example, the Aegis and stability is a little bit like not perfect like on Chronomancer, but still quite good. Yeah. So I hope you enjoyed the showcase of the Healing Vindicator. Yeah, Mesmer in the right hands is really good, of course. Mesmer is, in my opinion, the best PvE class overall. It's really broken. Which class would you recommend for a really good PvE open world and good small scale 1v1 PvP build? It's a really good one-on-one build. Untamed. I guess Untamed is really, really good for that. Open world, insane open world, really good. And Untamed in small scale is really, really good as well. I think that's what I would recommend, Wes. I have that. You can scroll down on YouTube in the description of the stream right now. There is a link to the build spreadsheet and there is an Untamed guide. You can check that one out. When I looked at your list months ago, there was a Flamethrower Scrapper, I guess with much self-build, no build I mean. Yeah, it's really good. I really liked that one. It got a little bit reworked with the Flamethrower changes, but I think they are actually helping the build to some extent, so it's really fun now as well. So, and I will update the spreadsheet, so don't worry, when there's some change, I will actually write that there and maybe make a new build guide about it as well. Yeah. Yeah, I think Core Necro is a good build to learn, but I would say for open world, Core Necro feels a little bit slow. That's the problem. In open world, you want to have something that actually does a lot of power damage or just moves very fast, and Core Necro isn't doing any of those, so it's, in my opinion, not the perfect spec for that, but it works decently fine. Don't worry, Wes, don't worry. So I have a build guide. Just type !build and there should be this flamethrower scrapper build there. I did a build guide about it, yeah? I'm pretty sure about it. It should be on my YouTube channel somewhere. Yeah, Cornacre is really underrated after the recent balance patch. It's actually in PvP quite a menace now. It's really, really surprising how good it is. And it was in World vs. World already, and I think in PvE it's not like insane, but in competitive modes it's actually really, really good right now. Yeah. And I think that's also enough for today. I think I have to stop streaming now. I hope you enjoyed it. It was really fun, really good. I hope to see you tomorrow as well. Thanks a lot for watching. Be sure to check out my YouTube channel if you haven't already. And I wish you a very good night. Have a very good day, wherever you are, and see you around. Thanks for all your support, and see you.